But that's the scene this morning in Stratford. The Aquatic Centre is all set for another day of world-class para swimming. This is the scene inside the Aquatic Centre. Stephen Jameson and Liz Johnson here with you once again this morning. And Liz, we saw such a wonderful day yesterday. 5 brand new world records. So much action, so many close races, and quite a fair few surprises as well. Day 2 has a lot to live up to, is what we're saying.
Yeah, yesterday definitely had it all. I mean, there were some really special races. We had big crowds in. They got a lot to enjoy. It was world para swimming at its best.
The crowd is just starting to filter in here at the Aquatic Centre. Similar to yesterday morning, we've already got a busload of school children in. They're all waving their flags. With Spain flags in there as well, which is nice to see. A truly continental competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in our technical delegate and their team of technical officials.
This is the scene inside the Aquatic Centre at the moment. The officials currently being walked out on pool deck. And our crowd are enjoying themselves as well. The Irish are in.
Amy Marin's family there, all set to cheer on this morning.
And there's some of the school children that I talked about. Supporting all nations. Here's what we've got to look forward to today. And Liz, if yesterday was a bit of a freestyle day, today's a bit of a backstroke day on day 2.
Yeah, we're lucky it was speckled. We have the full range here. 200s, then there's some 100 backstroke. Then we've got some more freestyle. We're getting good already. Then we go on to the individual medley for the S10s. Some butterfly, back to the backstroke. More freestyle to bookend that second page of activity.
Yeah, it's a typical day in the life of World Championships, isn't it? A packed schedule, loads of different strokes and races to come. What keeps us coming back? We close with the relays, a mixed 4x50 medley, 20 points. You'll see some of our lower classifications teaming up to go for gold. Well, the Aussies are in. They always are, very well supported. The Wallabies being waved for the Australian Dolphins. And the feeling of seeing yourself on a big screen will never quite get old.
No matter what your age.
No matter what your age. We saw plenty of people who were about 10 times that young girl's age yesterday, getting very excited. The Dutch are pegging up their banners.
They're all set for that S11 100-metre backstroke later.
And the countdown's on inside the venue.
Those little eyes fixed on that screen, there it is.
Yeah, around about 650 athletes, roughly 80 nations. It is a truly World Championships. As London once again welcomes the world. 7 years removed from those wonderful Paralympic Games. We are ready to go on day number 2 of the World Para Swimming Championships. We open up with the men's 200 freestyle S5 heats. Big day for him, potentially, Anthony Ponce-Bertrand. He lost his world record and his world title yesterday in the 100-metre breaststroke. He'll be looking to bounce back this morning in the 200 free. As you start this, Zed Nael, Ivo Rocha, Anthony Ponce-Bertrand, Artur Kubasov, Pucci
This
Inchaipum,
is Heat 1.
Li Junsheng and Basha Halabi. Men's 200 freestyle, S5, heat number 1.
There we see, as with this S5 class, so often a ranger starts. The best start there coming from lane number 5. That's Artur Kubasov of Russia, getting that advantage of going off the start and knowing he needs to maximise that speed, because the likes of Antonio Ponce de Spain will have that powerful freestyle stroke that we've come to recognise so strongly, so synonymous with his name as he bounces back. As you say, from that surprise loss yesterday in the 100 breaststroke, but by no means a poor swim.
Well, that was almost the most surprising part of it, the fact that it wasn't by any stretch of the imagination a slow swim from Ponce Bertrand, but two athletes going inside his old world record time. And do you think he'll be pleased to be straight back in the pool this morning with a chance to get himself into another race and almost think about something else and go again?
I think, yeah, we'll see that a lot from a lot of these athletes this week. The World Championships are having a condensed program compared to that of the Paralympic Games. So it does mean that quite often we see athletes doubling up on a day, which we saw yesterday from many athletes. And also we see athletes back in the water quite quickly if they run a heavy program. And actually both these athletes in the shot at the moment swam in finals last night. So Ponce Bertrand was the leader and Kubasov in a comfortable second place for Russia as we turn at that halfway point. As I said, both athletes were in last night. Kubasov quite near the end of the program with Ponce Bertrand. So it's exciting. I think sometimes you need to bounce back, and if you've got something to distract you, you don't dwell too much. And as an athlete, you deal with one race at a time, you park it, you move on. And we saw that yesterday with a few of the athletes who swam in the S6 400 in the start of the session. The freestyle maybe didn't win, well no, they both got silver, and then came back at the end of the session to win gold medals in the male and female 100 breaststroke SP5. So it just shows that you park it, you move on, and then at the end of the meet, you almost have like a debrief session with your coach, and then you plan for the next year, plow on, and it's all a learning experience. But here, Ponce Bertrand looking really comfortable, as we often see him in those heats, commanding from the front, having that luxury now of being able to really turn it off and just head for the hook.
Yeah, we've got a lovely shot of both Ponce Bertrand and Kubasov's turns there. You can see the gap has built up quite considerably as Ponce Bertrand heads for home. 2:34.62. The Spaniard stops the clock. Solid time for Ponce Bertrand. He'll look to dip quite a bit below that later on. Small smiles to the cameras. He knows his job is done. In that sense, Artur Kubasov, 2:45, a long way back. Next to finish is the Thai athlete Pucci Inchaipum. Well, I think Antonio Ponce Bertrand spotted the Spanish flag flying here in London. A strong swim from the Spaniard. It's very arm-heavy stroke on his freestyle in particular, and really utilises that strength well.
Yeah, we see there from that turn, he's so reliant on his arms to get him over, to get him off that start block. He plants his feet on the wall. Brilliant underwater shot here that we are getting to see, but there's not much propulsion at all there from his legs. And as he's back up and into stroke, he swam well, 2 seconds off of his entry time. Actually, he looked comfortable. So again, he's in good form, and we were saying that about his breaststroke. He didn't lose that breaststroke last night. The other guys won it. You know, like his bronze medal wasn't a poor bronze medal, so he has every reason to smile.
Kubasov second, Inchaipum in third. African record, meanwhile, in 7th place for Zayed Nael. Ponte Bertram wins it, 2:34.62. Here comes the start list for heat number 2. Mohamed Zulkifli is in wonderful form in lane 2 for Malaysia. Francesco Bocciado is the current world record holder in this event. He goes in lane number 4, the reigning European champion from last year in Dublin.
Well, again, we see such a quality. This really is a world championship that signifies people are having a lot of intent ahead of Tokyo 2020. We're getting a range of nations represented in all of these heats, in all of the finals, which is brilliant to see. And the times are good times. We saw Bocciado yesterday pick up 2 medals in his first evening, so again, we know he's in good form. You see, we kept talking yesterday morning in the heats about that blue cap of Italy that we keep seeing out of front, leading spearheads of races, and we know they're in good form. They've come to this, but it is actually Mohamed Zulkifli from Malaysia that he took the Asian record and then equaled it in the final. So we knew he had the speed in the 50 freestyle. And can he take that into this 200 and hold on and challenge again for the medals tonight?
Love to see Sebastian Rodriguez in action again in lane 3, 62 years young. Still always blows my mind whenever I see Rodriguez compete. Such a wonderful Paralympic sports story, really. He's been going for forever and a day, really. Yeah,
he was so dominant in this S5 category in the 2000s, you know, right through, and then Daniel Diaz came along, and what I always love about watching Sebastian Rodriguez is the privilege he feels every time he gets in the water, and the way he embraces the younger athletes as they come through. He just, if you ever get a chance to see him and Daniel Diaz finish the race, the first thing they do after checking the scoreboard and celebrating is give each other the biggest hug you've ever seen. And it's so good to see that level of respect, and almost he passed on the baton to Daniel Diaz to dominate in this S5 category. But obviously now Francesco Bocciado of Italy has come in to break up that party. Daniel Diaz not in this event, so Bocciado stamping his authority on his 200 meters freestyle this morning.
Yeah, a true Paralympic champion in not just medal, but in the true meaning of a sporting champion is Rodriguez. Bocciado then heads towards home. He's looked very strong as the Italian. Luis Vatapota of Spain having a good race over in lane 6. He was in 3rd place, or 2nd place maybe, no 3rd, as they come towards home. There's glitches in our scoring system by the looks of it. Ricardo is the man to finish. Next to him in lane number 5 will be Théo Curant of France, who comes in 2:43.72. The 3rd quickest time of the heat so far. And in lane 6, it's Luis Vatapota, who does pick up 3rd place.
There it is again. He's over look for Jack Rodriguez at the end of the race. There's that embrace. He really is an advocate for these S5s.
Bocciado, a good night last night. A bronze, then a silver. Is it time to add a gold?
He'll be hoping that you come in that following morning. There's that level of adrenaline that you felt coming off the podium night before. It's really difficult to get back to your hotel room and switch straight off. So we saw him there, rub his eyes, looking a bit tired, but the times and the swimming that he's producing don't say that his mind might say he's tired, but his body is fresh.
Those results are official. So just wait and see the
and here are the results from heat number 2. Bocciado wins it. Théo Caran of France in second place. 2:43.72 is a decent time for the Frenchman. He's in with a good shout of a medal a little bit later on. Luis Huerta of Spain, pretty good swim. And Ahmad Hashad of Egypt picking up 4th place.
Green dot that's next to their names during these summaries, so we'll roll around again. But there you go, all of those with the green dot. Well done to them.
It's ready for the female iteration of this race now. 200 freestyle S5, this time for the women.
Beautiful.
2 heats to come of this one.
This is the
Two Italians lead the way in the centre lanes, Arianna Talamona and Monica Boggioni.
This is heat 1.
They've got Mayumi Narita and Joanna Maria da Silva for company. Lots of varied starts for our swimmers as ever. It looks like we're ready to go.
Away they go. There we see again. We talk about this range of starts, and it really is about the athletes playing to their strengths. And we saw Monica Boggioni there of Italy in lane 5, going from that standing start, getting the best off of the dive, but already it is her compatriot Arianna Talamona who's up and into that rhythm that we've come to see from her. And taking the lead, your head down. That stroke rate's high because again, these athletes have a higher impairment in their spine, so there's more drag, so they need to create that momentum to limit the resistance that their legs create. And that's a quick 40.6. Opened up a good lead already over Narita in lane 3 of Japan. And then we see Monica Boggioni, that blue cap, she's sticking with her compatriot, and she will try as hard as she can to give herself the best chance of getting a good lane in the final, because often in a 200 freestyle in that distance event in the S5 category, then tactics can come into play, and a lot of people rely on their lane position to make sure that they've got a good scope of where everybody else is in the field. Of course, others we see win from the outside lanes. They just swim an individual race. They've got their race plan and they stick to it. But there's Talamona turning at the halfway point in 1:23.73. Boggioni round in second at the halfway stage.
Talamona is looking very strong here. Good 3-length lead over Monica Boggioni. Third, and Brazil's Joanna Maria da Silva currently in 4th place. A little bit of a gap until then the rest of the fields.
It's quick world record in this category. This is another combined event. We've seen a few of these over the championship so far, so there are S4 swimmers and S5 swimmers in this race. The S4 swimmers are Popova of Russia in lane 2 and Sylvia Gabardolina of Kazakhstan out in lane 7. So the world record in that is actually held by Monica Boggioni in lane 5, who now swims as an S5, and the world record for the S5 swimmers has stood since Sydney 2000.
That is an age.
One Beatrice Hess of France.
And we really cannot put enough emphasis on that point. Para-world records in swimming change hands like fairly regularly, much more common than they do in the Olympic counterpart, but for a record to stand since the Paralympics in 2000 is absolutely remarkable. Shows how quick that was. Talamona into finish then, 2:50 for her. It's a good swim, 2:50.51. Boggioni comes in behind her, 3 minutes, 0.99. Good swim for Boggioni as well, right? 2 Italians lead the way then in heat number 1. Mayumi Narita Finishes up in third. Yeah, that's one of the older world records there. 2000 is a long, long time. The sport has moved on so much since that Games. Think back to Sydney 2000, it feels almost like a lifetime ago.
But we have seen a few athletes in the pool here that did compete in Sydney 2000, so you know, it's the start of something special for a lot of people. And the Paralympics has gone from strength to strength since then. Great front-on shot there, showing that position, showing that stroke rate that Talamoni uses to maximize her body position and really generate as much power as her limbs will allow.
Italians happy with that one. They were very well supported in the London Aquatic Centre last night. There's Team Italia. And they're off and running well this morning as well. Bocciado set the tone for the men. Talamona and Boccioni off and running for the women as well in this 200-metre freestyle S5. Second heat on its way. We welcome for the first time today two of the host nation, Great Britain. Tully Kearney headlines in lane 4. She'll have Indal Pizarro and Zhang Li either side of it. And Great British debutant Susanna Hext goes in lane 6.
Well, there's Boccioni leaving the pool. Tully Kearney of Great Britain fresh off victory in the 50-metre freestyle last night. She'll be feeling confident as she comes into this heat swim this morning. Stefani Rodriguez there of Brazil. Brazil had a good night last night. She'll be excited to get back into the heats this morning. Again, we see that range of starts. Tully Kearney in that centre lane for Great Britain, going from the water and up already. We see she's charging. She actually comes into this race with a time that could challenge the world record that we discussed in the previous heat, 2:44.61. Beatrice Hess's world record from way back in Citi. And Tully Kearney comes in on a 2:44.73, so...
That would be incredible, wouldn't it? It really would. And Tully Kearney's feeling it. We saw her last night in that 50. She looked in such good form. She did win World Championship gold back in Glasgow in 2015.
As an S9 swimmer then, she's had a difficult time. Difficult time. We see a lot of that with a lot of athletes who have, especially the visually impaired athletes, they get classified regularly because they have degenerative conditions. And it means that you've got a lot to deal with outside of the ball. But you can see now that she's obviously found her form again, found her rhythm. And then we see at the top of the shot, Susanna Hext, also of Great Britain, had a flying debut yesterday, silver medal. Not too far off Tully Kearney for the gold, and she'll be loving the fact that she's debuting. It's in a home pool. Great Britain proud. Amazing.
Yeah, I mentioned it on commentary yesterday when Susanna Hext finished. It was almost as if you couldn't believe what she was doing in many ways. And Tully Kearney here is looking right at home in this category. She sort of re-debuted as an S5 last year at the European Championships, won the gold in the 100 free, bronze in the 50, but there's a very decent chance of Tully Kearney taking on a hat-trick of the freestyles here this week. Got great times in all three, already won the gold in the 50.
Yeah, As she comes into this last turn now, she'll be heading for home, and we saw that white hat of Israel's Embal Pizarro, who has been a medalist on many occasions in this classification and in this event. And as we see there, she's winding it up. As she spins round, she gets nothing from her legs, so they don't even touch the time pad as she goes round. But this race really is all about the comfort of Tully Kearney and just getting a good lane. Should be in the centre for this evening.
Yeah, keep an eye on that clock, because this for a heat swim is going to be quick from Tully Kearney. Susanna Hex is just starting to be caught by Embal Pizarro behind her as they reach their final 15 metres. But Tully Kearney here, this is smooth and controlled for her. She has plenty left in the tank. 2:53.51 is more than enough to qualify for tonight's final. Yesterday, she was absolutely loving the 50 freestyle. Big beaming smile at the end of the heat, and of course the final. Looks a touch more composed at the end of the 200. Has a little look up into the crowd, see if she can spot family and friends. Been really well supported this week already.
But it just goes to show how, when you're racing against other people, how the racing looks, because she looked really comfortable, she looked really fast, she was, but Talamona in that first heat, with the slightly quicker time, if going into the race this evening, that'll be a good head-to-head in the final.
Yeah, an interesting start there. I noticed at the time, I think Zhang Li got left on the block a little bit there. Particularly slow start from the Chinese athlete. Did cost her a few seconds.
Yeah, she's actually defending world and Paralympic champion. So it does just to show you can't just look at the rankings. Anything can happen on the day.
Tully Kearney looks in fantastic form this week. Plenty of support in the crowd for her. Embal Pizarro ended up that one in second place, just outside the 3-minute mark at 3 minutes 0.95. Susanna Hex just faded away towards the end there. 3:02.5. Here's tonight's final then for the women's 200-metre freestyle S5. Ariana Talamona, the quickest through, 2:50.51. Tully Kearney will fancy her chances from lane 5. Embal Pizarro will go in lane 3. Monica Boccioni and Susanna Hex will battle it out for the medals too. And a reminder of who made it through for the men's final in a moment. There we go, Antonio Ponce-Bertrand is the quickest qualifier, and that is a bit of an all-star lineup in the middle lanes there, with Francesco Bocciado, Theo Curan and Artur Kubashov not far back. But the real battle will be in lanes 4 and 5, you'd imagine, for that one. Antonio Ponce-Bertrand and Francesco Bocciado both battling for gold. On to the backstrokes we go then, and a fair few backstroke events today. We kick off with the men's S900. As we welcome back Simone Barlam, one of the stars of night number 1 in the London Aquatic Centre. Brand new world record in the freestyle. He looked magnificent. Takes on the backstroke today. Not his specialist subject, as it were, but he is absolutely flying this week, and don't put anything past this young Italian. Men's 100 back, S9, heat number 1.
Swimmers just being stood there to stand down, rest those arms. You don't want to be held in that tense position for any longer than absolutely necessary. Arms so important for these athletes with a lower leg impairment on this backstroke race.
A couple of checks just taking place behind the scenes here.
That water gets cold if you sat there for too long too.
It's usually quite a bit warmer at the aquatic centre. They've turned the temperatures down from what it usually is. This is a leisure centre pool, part of the 2012 legacy. It's used every single day.
Yeah, you don't want to encourage the public to swim in an ice pool, do you?
These professionals are a little bit tougher. Reminder for the crowd to keep quiet. And ready to go. It's all part of the education. We talked a little bit off air yesterday, Liz, about having the school kids bust in. There's probably about 100 of them filling up a whole block here, more on the way in as well. A wonderful education for these primary school youngsters about disability sport, about para swimming. So important at that age.
I also think exactly just that awareness and inclusion that the Paralympic movement does give the wider society. And it doesn't mean to say that every athlete wants to come in here and race Simone Barnum and be a backstroker or a swimmer, but it does just show that actually there are possibilities in whatever avenue you choose to explore. And while Simone Barnum, he is a World Championship bronze medalist in this event, he's more renowned for that freestyle, but we can see again that blue cap of Italy already out in front early on this morning, but it is Mazovi of Russia who got the bronze medal in the freestyle last night, behind Barlov, coming through now to challenge to get this up.
Yeah, looking really strong as well is Mozgovoy, and he is going to pip Simone Barnum. Not been too used to losing in the last couple of years, Simone Barnum, but he is touched out there by Bogdan Mozgovoy of Russia, who enjoyed a good opening night on their return to international competition at a major championships yesterday evening.
Yeah, they're just topping that medal table at the end of day one, with the host Great Britain closely behind, but there's still a long way to go in this meet. So there it was, Barlam with the leg attempt getting up into his stroke. Bogdan using that underwater to maximise the, I guess, the advantage that you can get, because swimming underwater is significantly quicker, which is why they limit it to a 15-metre mark.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? Barlam with the lower limb impairment and Mozgovoy with the upper means two completely different backstrokes.
But there we see how they come to the wall pretty much together, which shows just how the system works and balances out over the course of the Paralympic programme.
Yeah, Barlam not quite getting his touch on time there. Might have cost him a little bit more than he would have liked. Those are the results of Heat 1. Mozgovoy takes it down. Here's the start list for Heat 2. Timothy Hodge is the premier in lane 4.
Yes, Timothy Hodge there in that centre lane, joined in the yellow cap Brendan Hall of lane 3, also of Australia, but Hugo Didier of France will feel that he should have come in with the favourite tag. He is the world champion, he is the European champion, but the thing with this S9 100-metre backstroke for men over recent years is it's been so close, and the times have been similar across 1 to 8 in all of the major championship finals, and it really comes down to who gets their hand on that wall first. And so Hugo Didier, France, 17 years old, has really been a breakthrough, but Brendan Hall is the Commonwealth Games champion and the Paralympic Games bronze medalist.
We talked about the finish of Simone Barnum and Bogdan Mozgovoy in heat number 1, and it quite often comes down to that in this 100-metre backstroke S9. It's going to be another close call, this, in the middle lanes. 4 and 5 are duking it out, Didier and Hodge. And it is Didier who just touches out the Australian in lane 4. Frenchman coming in there. There's Timothy Hodge and Hugo Didier there. That may well be a new European record, which is a big, big swim. 1:02.48.
both guys. They're puffing quite hard. They went for it this morning. They enjoyed that. And like I said, we said about backstroke in this pool, it's difficult to use the roof and the ceiling to direct you, but these backstroke pros won't need that because they'll be honed in on swimming straight down that black line, even though they can't see it, to maximise the water that they've got available to them, and not be, because if you get too close to the lane rope on backstroke, you end up stealing the water of the person next to you, or they obviously then steal yours. But Timothy Hodge, with two silver medals, at the Commonwealth Games at the Gold Coast in 2018, he really has been promising to break through on this world stage for the last couple of years.
Fine swim from Hugo Didier to win heat number 1 in a European record time. He is in fine fettle, that is for sure. Timothy Hodge second, and Tamas Torp of Hungary picks up third. There are our finalists: Didier, Hodge and Moscovoy, joined by Barlam and Zhu. Here comes the start list for the women's 100-meter backstroke S9.
So this is going to be an exciting race. There's 3 Paralympic champions from Rio in this race. Ellie Cole in lane 3 of Australia. She won the S9 category. Sophie Pascoe in lane 4 of New Zealand was swimming as an S10 and won that category. And Stephanie Millward, Great Britain, in lane 6, she won the S8 category out in Rio. So, very loaded field. Maria Marcus Soto is the world champion, European champion, Paralympic silver medalist. But there we see Sophie Pascoe turning all the threes, 33, 1.3 seconds ahead of Ellie Cole, who's closely followed by Maria Marcus Soto. Interesting heat here. We only need to drop 1 swimmer to progress through to the final. And there we see 9-time Paralympic champion Sophie Pascoe heading that field.
Yeah, she looked really, really strong yesterday, did Sophie Pascoe. Since dropping down to the S9, she's started a mission to take every world record that category has. She's got this one as well, set that this year in June in Auckland. How quick is this one going to be? It's very quick, 1:08.56. Very nicely done by Sophie Pascoe. Oceanic colleague, as it were, Ellie Cole comes in second place. 1:12.13. Job done for Sophie Pascoe. She qualifies through into lane 4 for tonight's final. Maria Marcos Soto of Spain in third. She had such a wonderful championships in Mexico 2 years ago. Elizabeth Smith of the USA from lane number 1, picking up 4th place in that one. And the 2 Irish swimmers at the bottom, battling it out for a place in the final. Looks like Ellen Keane will be the one to drop. Almost ready for our next event, which will be the men's 100-meter backstroke S8. Again, just the 1 heat for this one. Robert Griswold of the USA is the quickest into this event by quite a distance. He'll be hoping to put on a show this morning. He's got Juraj Semyonovs and Jesse Yongles alongside him from Latvia and Australia, respectively.
There he is, the European champion, Semyonovs from Latvia. Was in the lift with him earlier. He is so tall. Helped on backstroke.
Yeah, they're a different breed backstrokes. I can never really put my finger on why. I saw it yesterday with the women's VI backstroke race with Krishina. Just such a long, tall athlete, and it seems to be the trait of backstrokers. It's Griswold here. away and racing. Great start on the outside in lane 0 there from Kevin Edwards of New Zealand. He's quickly been reined in by those middle lanes.
Yeah, we see that white cap. Obviously, the USA, they wear white caps in the morning, then black caps in the final, but it will be Robert Griswold's turn at the halfway point. He is the Paralympic Games bronze medalist. He'll be looking to add a World Championship gold to tonight's final. He will come in as the favourite. He's already the world champion from Mexico, but as we know, a lot of nations went there, so he'll be looking. This is a very full field. He'll be looking to stamp his authority on this event. Yeah,
sure, that's exactly what he's doing as well. Griswold looking very, very comfortable. He had the quickest time this year by quite a distance. That's what it's like to see here in the heat. 1:07.24 is cruise control for Robert Griswold. He's capable of much quicker than that. He took the race out, led it home comfortably, didn't expend too much energy. Perfect heat swim. He secured his lane 4 for tonight's final. A nod of the head from the American, who had a wonderful finish to the night last night, did Team USA. 3 golds in 4 races at the end, as they kicked off a bit of a gold rush. Here comes the results of the heat. Only one heat, and it'll be Diego Concella of Portugal who will drop from tonight's final. Griswold will be joined by Ongles and Lopez-Thans. In those middle lanes. Women's 100 backstroke then, S8. 2 heats for this one. Here's the lineup for heat number 1. Megan Richter of Great Britain is in lane 4, joined alongside by the great Jessica Long. Really good field in this event in both heats. Jessica Long, big beaming smile. She jumps into the race. She's done this so many times before, totally relaxed.
Well, we see Megan Richter of Great Britain in that black cap. She is the fastest into this heat this morning. European champion, silver medalist at last year's competition in Dublin 2019. Really coming of age as part of this Great Britain setup at the moment. She looks strong there as we go down. We can see that contrasting weakness down the one side for Richter. We can see the strong leg kick. See how her right arm goes into the water flat. That's the one that she doesn't catch so much water in, but she'll be coming into this turn, and if we're really lucky, we'll see from the, as we go here there, Jessica Long go into that wall. She doesn't have that leg kick, obviously, so she always builds into the second half of her race. Jessica Long, backstroke, not her favourite event, but just shows the calibre of the athlete that she is, that she can enter these major championships in pretty much every stroke. And if she was to get a medal tonight, it would be her 40th World Championship medal.
That is remarkable, isn't it? And you really wouldn't bet against it, despite it being, as you mentioned, probably her least favourite stroke of all of them.
Yeah, for sure. And she, out of 39 she's got already, only 1 is bronze. But here comes Megan Richter into the final 5 metres for Great Britain. She's going to take this touch.
Yeah, Richter wins it. 1:19.34 is decent going for Megan Richter. Great Britain had a great night in the pool last night. And that looks set to continue. With Megan Richter winning heat number 1 here. Got Alice Tide to come in heat number 2. Jess Long finishes up in 2nd place. Comfortable swim, 1:20 for the American. 3rd in that one was Maria Pavlova of Russia. Those are the confirmed results. Richter, 1:19.34, wins heat number 1. Jess Long and Maria Pavlova, 2nd and 3rd. Here's the start list for heat number 2. Alice Tai leads the way into this event. She is the world record holder set this year. Can anyone stop the Great Britain? She's already won herself a gold medal in this championships. She's looking to add quite a few more by the time it's done. She is. And a fantastic opening night, Alice Tai. And backstroke really is an event that, on paper at least, you'd expect her to go very, very well in. Got a very dominating time in this field. 108.09 is a massive world record that she set this year up in Glasgow at the World Series. And the question is, can she live up to her own billing, as it were?
Well, she delivered in the 100 freestyle last night, as you said, Steve, and here she goes strongly again this morning. Paralympic Games bronze medalist in the S10 classification 3 years ago, but she's really found her form again. She's really found her love of swimming, and now she's moved to London, so this is as local, really, as a major championships is going to get for her in terms of her training base at the moment, and she trains with Dave Heathcott at Ealing now, and they've really struck up a very good partnership. And you can see, you can only race yourself. You can't worry about where the rest of the field are. When you're that far ahead, you've got to focus on your processes yourself. And here she comes, again, a comfortable heat swim into the wall, conserving the energy for the season.
It's a quick heat swim as well from Alice Tai. 111.72, she stops the clock. It's a really good swim from the Kiwi next to her. That is Tupu Naifi of New Zealand. That's an oceanic record for Naifi. Been dragged along there by Alice Tai, who's gone along really quickly at 111.72. So Naifi there, 115.36. A big drop from her time that she entered with, a brand new lifetime best and an oceanic record to boot. Third place will go to the Italian in lane 3, Zinnia Francesca Palazzo. And those are the confirmed results. Tai wins it, 111.72 as she guns for a second. Goals, Naifi, oceanic record, takes second, and Palazzo of Italy in third. Well, we move back to the freestyle. With the men's 100-metre freestyle S6. 2 heats of this one to come, and some well-recognised names as well. But some less recognised countries. Lovely to see Myanmar and Namibia in the lower lanes there as well. Truly world championships.
This competition is setting out an opportunity for all athletes, because it's within that qualification window for Tokyo 2020, and if you've got the opportunity to bring your athletes and swim in a venue like this, then why wouldn't you take it to give them the best chance of getting to that Paralympic Games next year? We expect that black cap of the Netherlands, Francis van Hoevegen, European champion in this event, to get away quickly. We saw he had speed in the 400 metres yesterday down the first 50 metres, and he knows, plays to his strengths, uses that to get to the turn quickly, because he knows that the likes of Alexander Komarov in Ukraine will be chasing him down that second 50 metres. As we come into the wall here, going well for France is Laurent Gerard in lane 2.
close race, this one.
Very contrasting strokes, so we can see from that underwater shot the range of impairment types within this S6 category, but they are all so equal when it comes to their abilities in the water, and that's the most important thing. Here we see that single arm, single leg stroke of the Frenchman Gerard in lane 2, taking this, and Komarov's comes in sight, so you'll see the splash of his legs, but it's too late to catch. This victory is going to Laurent Gerard, France.
Yeah, some swim that from Chardin as well, 106.99. Big swim from the Frenchman.
Came in on a 111, lever 7, so
huge swing.
Surprised everybody, I think. Maybe even himself.
He's
looking around. He's looking around to make sure that is his time.
It almost looks like he doesn't quite believe it. It was a fantastic swim for the Frenchman. Second place, it did in the end go to the Ukrainian Alexander Komarov. Thijs van Hofwegen of the Netherlands in the middle lane ended up in third place. Still a decent swim from him in 69.55. And the tricolore was flying for France as we have our final athlete coming in here in lane 9. This is Matthias Angula of Namibia. And a big cheer from all the crowd as well to welcome him home. Results are in there. Chardin wins it, 106.99. What a swim for the Frenchman. Komarov second, Van Hofwegen in third place. Decent swim from the Mexican, Gutierrez in fourth. Here comes the start list for heat number 2, and some well-recognisable names there. Taliesin Block, Nelson Crispin, Antonio Fantine. Wouldn't look out of place if that was a final in the middle lanes.
Here we see some of the athletes dropping into the water, some sitting on the blocks, some standing on the blocks. There's Antonio Fantine of Italy. He's an in-the-water starter. All the way well. Probably the best reaction time there coming from Taliesin Block of Brazil in lane 3 in that yellow cap, but it is pre-race fastest swimmer Nelson Crispin in lane 4 of Colombia, fresh off some impressive performances in Lima. 6 gold medals he got at the Pan American Games. So all that travel, we'll see how that's affected him, but here he is on the front of the field, turning, burst, but outside there at the top, a Chinese swimmer, Wang, Yingyang Wang, lane 9. We've seen a lot of the Chinese coming in with slow or no entry times that have been registered, but then surprising people. And the race is on. The question is, can Nelson Crispin see that far across the pool?
He's got a really unique stroke over in lane 9, is Wang Xingang. Really windmills that one arm that he has.
He used it
Very
so
effective.
effectively at the Paralympics. Here, actually.
Here they come then. Nelson Crispin does indeed win it. Fantine just behind him by a third of a second or so. And Wang ending up in third place from lane 9. Nelson Crispin, though, looks to not be suffering too much from the old jet lag. He's been very busy in the last month, but very successful too. I suppose when the gold medals are flowing, so is the adrenaline. You don't really feel that tiredness if you're on the sort of form that Nelson Crispin is.
Oh, a very good heat swim there, looked strong, and Yang Wang won't be all the way out in lane 9 tonight. You get that situation sometimes because you have to enter the competition with a time that's been on the world ranking last year, which is why he was all the way out in lane 9.
So Nelson Crispin does indeed win it, 106.35. Fantine in second, Wang in third. Block gets a decent time as well with 108. And a bit of an anxious wait for a few of our swimmers in heat 1, which was a bit slower than that. Should be a stacked final, that's for sure.
Picking up where we left off from yesterday.
Quite right too. It's the return of the S6 women then for the women's 100 metre freestyle. And the debut in this championships for Ellie Robinson in lane 4. She goes alongside her fellow compatriot Maisie Summers-Newton. Song Ling Ling goes in lane 3. She looked very good yesterday. And Fanny Illich in the outside lanes and has a gold medal to her name already.
That strong stature of Robinson in Great Britain in that centre lane with her training partner from Northampton, Maisie Summers-Newton. It's always nice when you go to the quarter room with someone that you're so familiar with. Strength in numbers, and the 2 black hats for the Great Britain ladies taking it out down this first 50 metres. We saw Maisie Summers-Newton swim so well to pick up 4th last night in that 400, but Ellie Robinson, this is her first outing of the championships, so she'll be looking to see, as a sprinter, just blow away the cobwebs and see what she's got this morning.
Yeah, this will be a really close race, this. Maisie Summers-Newton is very good over 100 metres. Ellie Simmons probably has that quicker straight line speed over... Ellie Robinson, my apologies, has that quicker straight line speed over 50.
Yeah, this is kind of the meeting in the middle. Robinson's a 50 specialist, butterfly and freestyle. Summers-Newton the 200 medley and the 400, so this is the closest they get to a similar race. And this
and
is
you can see how similar it is, yeah.
So it's like synchronized swimming this morning.
It really is. The 2 of them are going right at it here. Also, the time we're about to see, Robinson has finished really, really strongly, but Summers-Newton just touches her out. 900ths of a second in it. Good start to the morning by Great Britain. And a decent time as well from Maisie Summers-Newton, 1:14.98. Only just outside the quickest time she's set this year. She had such a breakout year last year with the European Championships. And they have done some wonderful work at that Northampton Swimming Club. To Jackie Marshall down there, doing some wonderful work with Ellie Robinson and Maisie Summers-Newton, bringing them on leaps and bounds onto the national scene and, of course, the international scene. One of the enduring images of the Rio Paralympics was the entrances from Ellie Robinson with that long coat and the wingspan.
It's true, the first time she did it, it was an accident, but it had such great effect that now it is her trademark.
Fanny Illich picking up 3rd place in that one. But the 2 Brits looked fantastic. And they'll be targeting tonight's final and the podium. Start list for heat number 2. Elizaveta Mareshko had a wonderful day yesterday. She's joined by Victoria Satsua in lane 5 and Zhang Yuyan in lane 3. I'm very much looking forward to this heat.
Yeah, lots of surprises in store again, I think.
Well, it's no longer the great unknown, is it? Zhang Yuyan came from, well, seemingly nowhere yesterday to smash that 400-metre freestyle world record. She no longer has that surprise element. Everyone will have watched that, and now everyone will be watching her this morning to see how well she can go in the 100. She started well.
Now it's more about anticipation than surprise, I think. Victoria Stasova, we had 2 Great Britain athletes in heat 1. We've got 2 Ukrainian athletes in this heat. Stasova, who was a breaststroke Paralympic champion in this pool in London 7 years ago. She's got a great 50 freestyle. She always goes out well, and then quite often it's Mareshko that catches her up. But Yang, fresh off that astounding 400 freestyle last night. That was probably the swim of the night, I think, across the board. There were some impressive swims, but Yang really did step up.
Unbelievable. It really, really was. And to take on a swimmer like Elizaveta Mareshko at her own game was incredible. It really was magnificent. But Savtsova is taking this one out. Mareshko seems to be just cruising a touch here. She knows she can go quicker. And there we go, touching in is Saptsova of the Ukraine, 1:15.66. Zhang, 0.3 of a second behind. Mereshko cruises in. A good 2 seconds back. And it's Saptsova who wins it from Ukraine. 1:15.66 is very nice. The two Brits in Heat 1, though, were both quicker. They'll occupy the middle lanes tonight. And that is looking like an absolutely stacked final, isn't it? That medal could come from absolutely anywhere in that final later on.
Yeah, all those athletes have the potential to step it up.
Mereshko, I think they're just playing the cards quite close to her chest this morning. Ayala Tufik, by the way, African record for the Egyptian. Finishing in 5th place in that one. Egypt have done quite a few of those in the heats over this first couple of days. Having a good meet. All relative, of course. Here comes the start list for our next event, the men's 200 individual medley SM10. Maxim Krypak leads this one through in lane 4.
What a glimpse of Rick Pendleton there for Australia. We talk about athletes that have dominated for a long time. He was Paralympic champion in 2008 in Beijing.
Yeah, he won bronze in this very pool in London as well in this event.
His first world championship was my first world championship in 2002.
Where have you? Why are you here and not down there, Liz?
I don't know. People like him make me look bad. There is Stefano Raimondi, fresh off that 50 freestyle victory last night in that S10 category.
What a victory it was.
Yeah, he capitalised on an opportunity.
Yeah, Maxim Krypak looking to bounce back. He was out the medals in that race. By about 100th of a second.
Oh, this is our first look at these championships at the individual medley events, and they are very exciting because the lead can change so much, because it comes down to playing into the individual stroke strength of the athlete. Maxim Krypak does have 3 very good strokes. He has butterfly, backstroke, and freestyle. Breaststroke will be his weaker leg, and we find that with a lot of the athletes. And here we see Paralympic silver medalist Krypak of the Ukraine leading them out. Raimondi in second and Korkut of third for Australia down in lane 8.
Yeah, the breaststroke is so often the catalyst for change in a medley, but none more so than in the SM10s. It really does make all the difference. You almost see the field concertina together on that breaststroke leg. Backstroke again, very strong from Krypak. 59.33, the split after 100 is quick. Now he goes on to the breaststroke.
The silver medalist, as I said, sorry Steve, at the Paralympic Games, also the European Championship. It's his compatriot Denis Dubrov that normally beats him to that top spot, but in his absence at these championships, could Krypak make that conversion to the top step of the podium? You see here that great overshot of the breaststroke, and actually a number of these athletes have lower leg impairment, so their breaststroke tends to be their weaker event stroke in that instance. But Raimondi, that blue cap of Italy again, having a brilliant breaststroke leg and closing the gap to Krypak. Krypak did a lot in that first 100 metres to give himself a good advantage. Yeah,
he really did, and as they come towards home, it is Krypak who has a considerable lead as they head towards the wall. Stefano Raimondi of Italy and Bas Takken of the Netherlands give chase. It looks like Takken has second place locked in for the Netherlands, just as Krypak rather has first place locked in, 2:11.7. That's not bad going from Maxim Krypak. Takken gets himself second place, and third in the end goes to Alexander Elliott of Canada in lane 6. But Krypak there, safe in the knowledge that he can go a lot quicker and has gone a lot quicker already this year. As he looks to bounce back from the disappointment of missing out on the podium last night in the 50 freestyle.
Strong butterfly backstroke. He really set him up there, Krypak, in the first half of that race. Such a strong freestyler.
Those are the results from our first and only heats. Krypak wins it, Tarkan second, Elliott third, Raimondi and Menchotti fourth and fifth. The 100 fly S12 is on its way in just a few moments. And we'll see the 100-meter backstroke soon as well. A short delay as we reach the midway point, really, of the session. The crowds are in. It's almost a full crowd here, which is brilliant to see. Quite a lot of visitors from local schools who are all having an absolutely brilliant time.
I hope his parents are watching.
The teacher's having the best time out of all of them there.
Well, you know, like I said, second week back. What we're going to do this week? Oh, let's go watch some swimming. One of the most iconic pools in the world.
Sounds like a plan, eh? Well, they're making a lot of noise in the aquatic centre. The French support is back. He was here last night. I get the feeling we're going to see that lady there with the French flags tucked behind the ears. Plenty of time.
I'll be impressed if her flags still look that good though at the end. Like, will I always manage to like rip them or get them wet, or but her flags look in pretty good condition.
Up the Irish. That's Amy Marin's support there.
I don't know if her sister's hiding because she doesn't want to be on the big screen or because she's supposed to be at school.
No comment. Telly Kearney's family and friends are in the building as well. They watched her go very, very well. And we talk about legacy from the Paralympics, Liz. Obviously you yourself swam in it. Returning here 7 years later, you see the pool being used every single day for local people. It's used for the leisure centre, it's got a gym in here. It's used every single day. It's used for regional championships for swimming in the London region as well. It really is a testament to how well they've done here in this part of the world to convert what happened in that Paralympics into sustainable success 7 years on. It obviously can't always be an international event. It's wonderful to have it here, of course, but it can't always be that once in every 7 years international event. It's inspiring to see.
Yeah, and I think they've really created a community out here. I know the gym that we had in the village during the games became the school. And actually I had a friend from home that taught in that school for a while. And yeah, and then you see those children getting off the tube every day to go and just go about their business, and it's really nice to see that everybody is utilising every aspect of this Paralympic and Olympic village. And now some of the financial institutions and organisations are moving to the offices that are now being built just next door.
Yeah, it really is great to see, because one of the great shames sometimes of big events like the Olympics and Paralympics is that you can create that white elephant effect of empty venues years on. We've seen that in the past. But London felt different for so many different reasons in 2012. One of the main ones, looking back now, is that element of legacy. The stadium, of course, Athletic Stadium now being used every week for football and for concerts and the like. Swimming pool, probably the biggest success story of the lot. And here we are 7 years on, the world's best para-swimmers are back. And I know there was a lot of excitement within the para-swimming community when people realised they'd get to swim in this pool again.
Yeah, everyone's got really good memories. Anyone who came here, whether the results went away or not, I think just the whole games marked such a turning point, a platform for the way that para-sport was viewed by the rest of the world.
Yeah, it felt like a watershed moment for Parasport, didn't it, that Paralympics? The venue size has decreased a fair bit since then, to about 2,500 from 17,500. But with the acoustics in here, trust me, it does get loud. We move on to our next event, men's 100 fly for the S12 swimmers.
You see in that centre lane, the white cap, Denisenko, fresh from backstroke victory last night. Roman Saleh picked up that silver, keeping him company as they go down this first 50 metres. That blue team of Azerbaijan just sweeping ahead here. These guys didn't have a Paralympic event that was combined with the S13, so people are still finding their feet, re-establishing, stamping their authority on podium positions here, but exciting. Denisenko is the silver medalist in the European Championship. Saleh got the better of him there in Dublin last year to take that gold medal. So, the race is on.
It is indeed, and Saleh looks to have the better of him in the water here in the heats. As they come towards the wall, that is a good swim from Roman Saleh. 58.09 is the time. She is pretty good going. Denisenko, who's ran a fantastic race in that backstroke yesterday, picks up second place, but as you win it, didn't stop grinning from the moment he stepped out for that final in lane 4 yesterday. Roman Saleh, he's got a good chance of being in lane 4 again tonight.
Well, I was giving him the victory. It was actually his brother who goes in the next heat that won the European Championship, so keeping it in the family at least.
Braden Jason, meanwhile, 60.12, sets a brand new oceanic record in third place there for Australia, who are having a very good meet themselves. Saleh wins it though, in front of Denisenko. Here comes the second heat. Dmitry Saleh from Belarus in lane 4. Roman Makarov, the world record holder from 2013, goes in lane 3.
The European champion, Dmitry Saleh, goes in lane 4 with Stephen Clegg, the bronze medalist on that occasion last year in Dublin for Great Britain. In fact, this is his favourite event. This is his chance of a step onto that podium. You can see him there, the black cap of Great Britain, those definitive cupping marks on his back from the physio treatment that he's been getting here. Taking it out very quickly, 26.5, half a second lead over Saleh, with falling a further 1.5 seconds back.
That's a ginormous lead after 50. Really was, and Clegg is flying here. He might just decide to rein himself back in down this final 50. He's almost done the hard work already. Back comes Dmitry Saleh of Belarus. Don't think he'll catch him. It will go to the touch, and Clegg does indeed touch out the Belarusian. He finishes 2 tenths and a little bit of change behind him. Roman Makarov in third, but a good swim from Stephen Clegg, the Scotsman. Clench of the fist. He got a lot of support from the home crowd down the straight in that one. 57.63 is the time. As he looks down to Great Britain's medal count from last night, later on this evening. An encouraging finish from Dmitry Saleh. Finishes that one comfortably in second place. Roman Makarov, who has been there and done it several times over the years. Current world record holder from Montreal in 2013.
Makarov, another athlete, was in Sydney
I say years and years, I really did mean it. Sydney 2000. And he set a world record 13 years after that. That still stands. One of the great campaigners.
It's time for you to get in, Steve.
Here comes the next one then, the men's 100-metre backstroke S14. Mark Evers of the Netherlands is in lane 4 for this one. Vyacheslav Emeliantsev, who was all-conquering before the Russian ban a couple of years ago, coming back into international competition this year. Ricky Bita was fantastic in the heats yesterday, didn't quite step it up in that 200 free final, but I mean, that's understandable when you consider he's still just 15 years of age, and it was the most world-class of world-class fields in that race yesterday.
Yeah, we've really seen everything at these World Championships. A great mix of youth, rookies. The Australians have got 9 rookies on their team, and it's a real opportunity to expose them to this international competition ahead of Tokyo 2020. We saw him attack the heats yesterday, as you said, even in the 200-metre freestyle, and he's gone through it again, but already he's been joined by the rest of the field. And Mark Evers of the Netherlands, a champion so many times in this event in the past. He had a brilliant London 2012, and now he's specialised this event. He never wears a swimming hat, so there's always that bald hat, but the rest of the world is cutting up. And Emeliantsev, champion Glasgow in 2015. He's surprised these championships. We don't know. He's been away for a while, obviously. He's come back. We don't know what to expect from him, but he's going strongly here in lane 3 for Russia.
Yeah, he was nowhere in the 200 free Emeliantsev, which was a little bit surprising to those of us who were used to seeing him all-conquering a few years ago, but he seems to be back for something like his best in this heat as he leads out Mark Evers of the Netherlands. Close on the touch, and Emeliantsev just holds on. 1400ths in front of Mark Evers. Ricky Bita picks up third in that one, 1.62 back. He's a backstroke specialist, Bita. Might have been a surprise to him how well he did in the freestyle yesterday. He was picked for the Australian team based on his backstroke. And he'll be hoping to have left something in the tank for later on.
Well, a number of these nations occupy a policy where if you qualify in one event, providing you make the standards of the IPC, the entire competition, then you can explore other events as well, because it is nice to get some experience in your belt before your main event comes. Obviously, if your main event is on the first day, then that luxury is not afforded to you.
Well, that's much more like it from Emeliantsev. It's almost a great unknown quantity, really, this week for the Russian team. Where are they at following the last few years? Mark Evers finishes in second. Ricky Bita picks up third. Here's the start list for heat number 2. 3 Britons in this one. The main man in the middle is Jordan Catchpole of Great Britain, who picked up a bronze medal. Joined Tom Hamer and Rhys Dunn on the podium for an all-British podium yesterday, which was a really historic moment for British paraswimming. The home championships having an all-British podium. In theory, possible in this event. A touch more unlikely, given the respective quality in the rest of the field. It would be really incredible. But Rhys Davis, Louis Lawler and Jordan Catchpole are flying the Union flag in this heat too.
Great start there from lane 6, Louis Lawler with Great Britain. Saw him getting the best reaction time. Jordan Catchpole does come in as the quickest time, that silver from the European Championships for him last summer. The Paralympic Games champion from Rio, Lee of Korea, is in lane 3. So we'll see him being a threat too. All 3 British athletes representing different home nations here. Rhys Davies, Wales in lane 2. Jordan Catchpole in lane 4 for England. And then Louis Lawler of Scotland in lane 6. Great to see the depth that we have in Great Britain in this S14 classification. But the Australians have always been so good. We've seen at this championship, the quality of the field has really stepped up. And the challenge is on. Here we see in that shot, it is Catchpole and Lawler that are going well together as they come into the flags. Catchpole stamping his authority in his final meters.
That was a strong finish from Jordan Catchpole, wasn't it? It looked impressive. A good time of 60.9. Second place in the end going to Louis Lawler. Third to Vasil Krajnik of Ukraine. Rhys Davies finishing in 4th. And Lee In-kook has got to wait for his time, but wasn't really challenging. The front of the field there was the Korean. Athletes on their way out for the next event, which is the women's iteration, women's 100 back. Here's the results from Heat 2. Meanwhile, Great Britain 1-2, Jordan Catchpole and Louis Lawler. It's nearly a Great Britain 1-2-3. Vasil Krajnik, though, just touching out Rhys Davies. Lee In-kook down in 6th place. Comes the lineup then in heat number 1 for the women's 100 back, S14. Valeria Shabalina, who won the 200 freestyle yesterday in commanding fashion, headlines this heat in lane 4. Madeline McTurnan from Australia is joined by teammate Jamie Lee Getson either side of her. There she is, Shabalina, who looked in ominous form yesterday.
Shabalina, she flirted with the world record in the 200 freestyle yesterday. The question for everybody was, would she be in the form that we saw before the Russians had a break from international competition? Because she burst onto the scene in Glasgow at 2015 World Championships, followed that one from trial, and then yesterday she delivered. But we talk about the nation that have always been so well represented and had such depth in this S14 category. We talk about Great Britain, we talk about Korea, but the Australians as well have always been well represented in these categories, and we see them sandwiching the Shabalina in the middle. But this race is pretty tight at the moment. It is Shabalina in 4, McTurnan on her Australian debut in 5, and down here in lane 2 is Batina of Russia.
Yes, a close finish, really close finish, in fact. They come towards the wall, this really could end up going anywhere. Looks like the middle lanes have just got enough, but as to whether it's going to be McTurnan or Shabalina, that is anyone's guess. It is Shabalina who ends up claiming it just in front of McTurnan. Elizaveta Barbatina of Russia picks up 3rd. Shabalina, who never looks particularly impressed with her own swims, even on the podium we noticed yesterday. Must be pretty pleased with that going. It's a time of 1:11.18. forward to seeing how the British girls in particular stack up to that sort of performance in the second heat. Those are the confirmed results. Shabalina touches out Madeline McTurnan. Elizabeth Barbatina in third, with Jamie Lee Getson and Anna Carolina Oliveira following behind. There's the lineup then for heat number 2. Bethany Firth is joined by Jessica Jane Applegate and Taylor Corrie in the central lanes. Firth, one of the great S14 backstrokers. Won this event in London while she was representing Ireland before winning it for Great Britain. Then in Rio, and a world record time of 1:04.05, which at this juncture still looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, she made her international debut as a backstroke specialist, but she's really come of age, and she's developed at all events now. We saw in Rio taking 3 of the 4 gold medals, 2 the freestyle and 2 the medley, to go with array of championship medals that she does have. Jessica Jane Applegate was a surprise world champion back in Glasgow. She was more renowned as a freestyler then, but again, the versatility of these athletes in this classification group, especially in the female disciplines, is very, very impressive. Bethany Firth here, though, looking comfortable back in that pool where her career really, really rocketed as she comes into the flags and into the wall, and in a comfortable heat swim of 1:06.77.
That's a heck of a swim. That has the look to me of a statement heat swim from Bethany Firth there. She looked almost surprised at how quick that's gone. And we saw a similar reaction yesterday, if you remember, from Simone Barlam. And it's sort of the dangerous looking kind of happy, that. Bethany Firth almost looks like she's surprised at that was how quick it was. And that's ominous for her rivals for later on. That was superb. 1:06 in the heats. Fantastic.
Yeah, she just looked like she meant it from the start, and she did go up. And there's nothing better than feeling like you were going easy, touching a wall and being pleasantly surprised by the time. It's better than the other way around.
Well, Jessica Jane Applegate's gone out quick there as well. 1:09 will be the second quickest through to the final. Bethany Firth, look at that, can't believe it. Wasn't expecting that one. She's in the mood this week, I think, Bethany Firth. Backstroke is very much her race. 1:06.77 then through to tonight's final. Jessica Jane Applegate will line up in lane 5 next to her. Valeria Shabalina will occupy lane 3 as they do battle once more. Should be a fantastic final, that. Men's 100 freestyle S4 is next on the horizon for us. Two heats to come. And here's the lineup for our first one. 3 Ukrainians in the water: Vino Radets, Derevinsky and Ostapchenko. It's an Israeli, though, who is quick through into this one. Ami Omer Dadoan of Israel goes in lane 4. Darko Duric and Roman Zhdanov in the lanes next to him. Focus required.
range of starts employed there by these S4 athletes. Darko Ducic of Slovenia, the only athlete to start from the block, using that momentum to get him up into stroke as he relies on that big, strong right arm to propel him through the water. Amiomer Dadon had a breakthrough week last year for Israel in Dublin. He was a newcomer, but he made it onto the podium a number of times, and it was a name that we were very familiar with by the end of the week. But going strongly here is Roman Zhdanov of Russia in lane 5. All these white caps, it's very confusing. And there we see Zhdanov go around that wall first.
Trust your eyes, Liz, not the graphics. You're definitely right there.
I know, okay, those graphics confuse me. I'm going to stop looking at those. But yeah, here we see now Dadon starting to come back. Zhdanov breathing, he's got Dadon in his sights. We saw there a little stretch, a little spurt, very different strokes. Zhdanov able to produce more power from his arms, but no use of his legs at all, whereas Dadon has got a more consistent stroke with a consistent output from all 4 limbs.
It's going to be Zhdanov into the wall then, and a good swim from the Russian. He's going to take down heat number 1. And he stops the clock in 1:24.42. Very nicely done. Radwan 1:25.61 for the Israeli. Third was Darko Ducic of Slovenia. 1:31.88 for him.
Different strokes to that long stroke of Zhdanov, the quicker stroke rate of Dadon. Both are very effective in getting them to that wall, through to the final.
There's results confirmed for heat number 1. Zhdanov wins it in front of Dadon, and Ducic picking up 3rd, and then the trio of Ukrainians 4th, 5th, and then 6th. Here's the start list for heat number 2. Takayuki Suzuki of Japan, looking to make a statement ahead of his home Paralympics next year in Tokyo.
David Smetheny in France, the veteran of this S4 category. Still going strong, still challenging for medals, still loving swimming. Paralympic and world champion Joe Guzon of Korea goes in lane 5, but it is Takayuki Suzuki of Japan who's the fastest entry on ranking times this year. He's the S4 swimmer, previously S5, been classified down. Trains a lot of his time in Northumbria University with Louise Graham up there, so he'll class this as his second home. Great Britain, he's well received and he's enjoying a very successful 2019, perfectly timed, some might say, ahead of the home Paralympic Games. Formerly a breaststroke specialist, but really now he has found his form in a number of events, and he's got a 2-second leader for halfway time turning point over Korean Paralympic champion.
Yeah, he's the world record holder in this event is Takayuki Suzuki, set that in Glasgow at the World Series this year. This time this year, 1:21.73, that was his entry. That's why he's in lane 4. He's justifying that inclusion. He's the first Japanese swimmer we've seen in lane 4 so far this meet. and he will have such a focus on that Paralympic Games next year. As is rightly mentioned, this will be a very special competition for him as well. He's in for a good time. It's very, very quick. Whoa, 1:23.67 in the heats. That world record looking a little bit vulnerable later on from Takayuki Suzuki.
There we see those range starts, that great fly kick under the water there in the outside lanes, but once they were up and into the stroke, it was Takayuki Suzuki who took the lead and never really looks back. Some would argue he's in the best form of his life.
And as you said earlier, perfect timing for that. Big Japanese presence this year in terms of media and athlete representation. Part of the build-up towards the games next year, and Suzuki doing his part to live up to the billing. Joe Kison finishing second place in that one, with Gustavo Sanchez of Mexico in third, or qualifying through to tonight's final. Next event is upon us. We are starting to rattle through them this morning. We can take a look at the start list for the women's 100 freestyle S4. Rachel Watson of Australia is joined by Gina Burtka of Germany in 5, and Olga Svideska of Ukraine in 3. Yura Safonova, and Larry, and Inez Rodriguez also in the outside lanes. Earlier on, this event's world record held by Monica Boccioni, who has since been classified up.
Rachel Watson there just entering from the side of the pool. We see athletes employing a number of different ways of entering the water. It's all about what's the most effective to the individual athlete and setting them up for a great race.
Talk about different starts that Olga Svideska's coach working absolute overtime on her start there.
Yeah, Roger of Germany there with the best start, sporting a very good hand. Her and her teammates after a look at the part of the team that she raced trains with in Germany. They did their preparations for this meet in Douglas Hampton and Lanzarote. Sometimes always have to swim quickly, but it was Rachel Watson of Australia who was slow to get away from the ball at that start station. She is the Paralympic champion in the 50 freestyle, so we know she's got good speed. She's now taken on this race and will turn the head of the race at the 50 meter mark.
Lovely view of the turn there for Rachel Watson, all in the upper body. Such strength. Power forward. Might give up a little bit of time on the start and returns to a couple of the other athletes, but this is where she really gains her ground in the middle of the pool, using her strength to her advantage. Gina Burtka of Germany is not too far back. That's something to think about as they come towards the wall here. 7 or 8 metres or so. It looks like Watson should hold on here for Australia. Burtka is finishing very, very strongly for Germany. Might even touch her out. She does, I think, hold that thought. Watson's time hasn't quite registered. Too close for me to tell. With is, even with my glasses on. We'll wait for that result.
There. We're getting so excited waiting for Rachel Watson's time that we almost missed Swiatek of Ukraine coming in to cement that third position in the first heat.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll give you a shout as soon as we know the positioning for Watson.
There we see that great use of the start from Portugal. Slow Rachel Watson wants to get moving. It's almost like she didn't hear the signal, but she charged then, that adrenaline rushed her down that first 50, and then maybe took a price in the last closing centimetres of the race.
Yeah, the time is now in. She was touched out by 4/10, Rachel Watson. It was Burkert who won the race. You're used to the tropical conditions of Lanzarote. It's not quite the same in a London autumn.
No, the German teenager really, really benefiting from training in that squad that she's in with Verena Schott, who we saw pick up a medal last night. It's always good news when your training partners swim well, because it gives you the confidence to know that your program you're in is working, and that's just an added bonus when it comes to standing behind the block.
Just lifts the mood of the whole team as well when the team's doing well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and there is that confirmed result.
Well, in fact, it's actually been a disqualification. Rachel Watson is DQ'd. That's the first we've seen of that one, and that's a big loss for Rachel Watson.
Big loss for the weekend.
And that's confirmed as well, we're hearing as well. Gina Burkert wins it. August Verska then up into second place, with Safanova third. Rachel Watson, Olympic champion, disqualified in the heat to the Worlds. Second heat on its way then, with Arjola Trimi of Italy leading the way in lane 4, the quickest qualifier into this event. She'll have Natalia Butkova of Russia and Zofia Gavrilina of Kazakhstan either side of her.
There we saw the best reaction time coming from Zofia Gavrilina of Kazakhstan in lane 3, but now we're up and look on that. Such iconic freestyle that Arjola Trimi of Italy has. Such a well-placed hand movement. She keeps a consistent stroke rate. Her head's so still as she goes. But again, another event where we see a number of countries represented. 2 Chinese in this, and Icelandic, Kazakhstan, Italy are represented, Russia and Czech Republic. And it is the Chinese Peng Kuping who's going well there in lane 6. Arjola Trimi just getting that touch at the halfway point. There's not a lot in the second, and we know that the Chinese have been bringing some surprises this morning and last night.
Yeah, Trimi's stroke is a work of art, really, isn't it? It's so smooth and silky. It's spot on, almost deliberate in a way. In terms of rate, it just looks so effortless compared to the rest of the field. No wasted movement, no wasted energy.
The way that she places her hands, gets full stretch and uses every inch of that water that she's pulling.
That is silky smooth in for Arjola Trimi of Italy. 1:28.21 is the time, and is not bad going either. Very, very strong, Arjola Trimi. And with morning tank, she's come quicker than that already this year. Keep an eye on her in tonight's final. Peng Kuping of China in second place.
swimmers starting facing backwards, some just choosing to do backstroke, and some just getting up into backstroke using their arms as quickly as possible. But again, we say textbook arm stroke, but brilliant turning as well, because Harry has very limited use of her body. Well, no control from her turning down. So she's got to minimise the impact of the drag that creates, and she's worked so hard on perfecting the technique to spin around the wall.
Really graceful stroke, isn't it? And a big smile on her face as well. Good morning's work from Margherita Trimi of Italy. Those results are confirmed. Peng Qiping was quick. 8th record for the Chinese. In second place, Natalia Butkova of Russia picks up third. Next 400 meter freestyle S7 on the way next. Got 2 heats of this one. A bit of noise on the full side for Mikey Jones in lane 5 of Great Britain. Matthew Levi of Australia. Race in lane 4. Evan Austin of the USA, gold medalist last night. And whilst this may not be his specialist event, it's amazing what an injection of adrenaline a gold medal can give you at the start of a week. Don't be surprised to see Evan Austin go quickly this morning. There you go then, with heat number 1 for the men's 400 freestyle S7.
Last night's butterfly champion Evan Austin from America in lane 7, and Andrei Trusov of the Ukraine that got away well, and Trusov in lane 6 is storming down his first 50. I mean, there's obviously a long way to go in this race. It's always good. We've seen a number of athletes like to get themselves out and ahead of the field and give themselves the best chance.
Yeah, flying start from Trusov in lane 6. Flying down in 30.72. Huge start from him. Andrei Gladkov of Russia in lane 2 on the outside is also going on trying to start. With Matthew Levi in 3rd place, and Mikey Jones back in 5th in the early going. As you mentioned, 400 for the SM is a long old race and plenty of time left. It's Britain who holds the world record in the space for Craig. Set that record World Championships in Montreal in 2013, 4:39, which was an exceptional time.
Well, we talk about the legacy and the legacy of London 2012, and actually exactly that. Joseph Gray swam here, he won that gold medal. Jonathan Fox got the silver medal. Mikey Jones was watching. Then 4 years later in Rio, there was a silver medal repeat for Jonathan Fox. But Mikey Jones stepped up to take that gold medal and become the Paralympic champion. Andrei Gladkov up in lane 2. He wasn't there, obviously, for Russia, but he is the world champion in Glasgow in 2015. And we just see so many times these athletes, the reason that they're here, the reason that they've been able to step up is because they've watched other athletes go before them, be good role models, and actually Great Britain have dominated at Paralympic level the results in this S7 freestyle for a number of years, because as we said, there's Michael Jones, Joseph Gray before him, David Roberts before him, so other nations will be looking to take the reins. And then we see that yellow cap of Matt Levy from Australia. Another athlete who's still in the game, been around since 2004. He made his Paralympic debut in Athens. And he's keeping Trusov company there, only 9/100 separating them at the halfway point.
Yeah, a little while to go. Michael Jones with a little bit of work to do. Is one of the quickest entrants into this event, but he's not the quickest. Matthew Levy and Inaki Basilov in the next heat, both quicker this year. Jones with a bit of work to do. You can see him there in the middle of the shot, the black hat. Caution is in front of him.
Well, there still is a lot of this race to go, 150 metres left as we come into this turn, so it's by no means over, but you do, as an athlete, have to start thinking about when you are going to make that move for home, and in this classification, not all the athletes have got that luxury of kicking for home, so sometimes they have to rely, if I can get my words out, on being able to up that stroke rate. Sometimes the danger is that you've settled into a rhythm, which is why often we see people, we saw it here in the event, we saw that quick start from Trusov. Sometimes it's just to wake your arms up and know that you've got that spin in them if you need it. And now we see the gap opening up slightly, 0.4 is still not much in it, just over half a second for the first three swimmers. And actually Michael Jones now back in the fifth position, so he's going to have to look to step it up a bit, try and get back in level terms, because you don't want to be on the wrong end of that touch, especially when you're in heat number one, because it makes you a nervous wait.
Yeah, and it will be if it stays as it is. Caution is almost gathered in a line as they come towards the wall here. Two turning at once, and it's Evan Austin who leads the way in the outside lane. His qualifying time was slow and doesn't really do him much justice, because when you're that quick and gold medal winning on the opening night, you're always going to be a threat, and that's exactly what he is from lane 7 at the moment.
I think he's significant here. By surprise here, I was obviously a man in confidence all. Well, Blackwood down here, closest to the screen, also trying to go well forward to get this touch, and it is World Champion for 2015 Blackwood who comes through to take that race at the end.
Yeah, really, really strong back 50 from Andrei Gladkov. And you mentioned Matthew Levy's been going a long time. He's just on a lifetime best and oceanic record in 2019. He finishes in 4th place. That was a high-quality race. Andrei Gladkov wins it. Evan Austin second. Third went to Andrei Trusov. Levy 4th. Mikey Jones 5th. Anxious wait then for Mikey Jones. It's not a bad time by any stretch of the imagination. 4:50. Just a very, very quick heat. It may just be a hint of concern as he watches heat number 2 come in. We'll confirm results then. Here's Gladkov, followed by Austin and Trusov, Matthew Levy. Oceanic records. 1:49.18. Matthew Jones, that's the wait. Starters for heat number 2. Step 8. Shing Yang-Dat, Federico Biccelli, Tony Gamaland, Inaki Basilov, Naya, Hundo Aregi, Zito. In heat number 2. It's a quick heat 1. And heat 2 with the knowledge of what went before. You know what's required on the bottom line.
As the swimmers get away, sometimes it's a luxury to be able to be in the second heat and watch that scoreboard, but sometimes if athletes go times you weren't expecting, it can shock you or put you off your game. So different athletes have different tactics of how are going to approach that situation. But obviously those first 4 athletes in that are all quite close together. So these athletes will be looking, they're experienced, they know what the pace looks like. And Inaki Basilov of Argentina recently reclassified. He's coming into this event, didn't they? They're still quite far back in the moment. He doesn't get the most propulsion in his legs, so he'll be one of those athletes looking to build into that race for this European Championship. Silver medalist Mark Miller of Israel said the Israelis are the great Europeans, and they look again to started where they left off. They have 3 Israeli athletes this morning. They're a small team, but they're a good team. And here we see him turn in that first 100 metres. Taking it out pretty quickly, 105.6. But now look to see if he settles into his rhythm or if he looks to continue this high pace. Another blue cap listed there, Federico Buccelli. In lane 2, closest to our screen, just little creeping into the shot. So the Italians really have now, they've benefited in the last Paralympic cycle or 2, they've really started to add in, they've become more successful. And we've talked about legacy of hosting Paralympic Games. We have talked too much about the legacy of just countries experiencing success, because when you say experience success, we see it with the Brazilians. They used to have a cohort of 4 or 5 people who pick up the medals. Daniel Diaz and Andre Gasol combined would beat a lot of countries in the Paralympic medal push. Now we see them here with a huge team wearing yellow, and the medals start to spread across the board. And it does have that almost that rippling effect where it spreads.
Success. Exactly. Times. It's not only the impact of hosting the games in 2012, but we see it with the Great British team. Not only hosting, but on TV you see the medals of Ellis Simmons and all the other, now pretty well known Great British swimmers, and all of a sudden you see all the youngsters coming through, and more at a national level. We're starting to produce those performances and getting into the teams now 7 years later. No coincidence.
No, it looked like Charlie Bierdes as well, because he's stepped it up and he's edging into a more comfortable silver, like second position in his second heat. And I actually saw the head coach of the Italian team before the session started, and he said to me, this really is a world championship. Because in Mexico, the Italians, we heard that anthem so many times, they enjoyed so much success, but he was the first to admit it was a diluted field, there was plenty of opportunity. He said this is the real challenge now going into Tokyo. And there are so many countries represented, there are so many newcomers here, but also obviously the likes of the Russians coming back into the fold. It's really interesting to see. And Mark Meyer is one of those who's burst onto the scene in that window where there's been maybe less people at these championships. Like I said, he picked up a silver last year in Dublin. So it's good for these athletes as well to be exposed to this level of competition, because it's very easy sometimes to get into a comfortable zone and get to the Paralympics and see all these athletes that live on the other side of the world who just not have the opportunity to race.
Yeah, it is almost a dry run in the Paralympics a year round, isn't it? So many nations here, and there aren't many swimmers that aren't here of note. It really is a world-class field, and these world titles will mean something.
So now we see no medals, obviously the titles decided in the morning, but Myla's got this one pretty much sewn up for victory. But there was a bit of a tussle there for second and third, bit of pride at stake. But it is Inaki Basilov now who's coming through in the later stage of the race. He saved the best for the last length, and looks like he'll get in ahead of Malia.
That's a really quick heat time for Malia, that. 4:41.52. It's only a second off world record pace, which in a heat for a 400 is fantastic. Inaki Basilov has gone and swum America's record in second place, which shows you how quick that heat was. Mark Malia then. Watch out, rest of the fields. Let's put them on notice. Third was Federico Buccelli. No slouch at 4:46.8. That was some swim from Mark Malia, who, well, we're seeing the splits in front of us. led from the 50, the 100, the 150, all the way through. Never gave up that lead, never looked like relinquishing that lead.
No, that'll give him a lot of confidence going into the final. And he might have actually benefited from being out on his own. As we saw in the first heat, a lot of swimmers together, and you do sometimes get sucked into someone else's pacing strategy. But he was left there to swim his own race, and he did so very, very well.
Fantastically. Well, there's the results. Has been disqualification for the Chinese Taipei athlete in the outside lane, Shen. But Mark Malia, 4:41.52. America's record for Inaki Basilov of Argentina. Federico Bocelli was quick as well. And that final is set up so beautifully for later on. Fantastic final, and Mikey Jones is just scraped in.
Got a lane, you got a chance.
Got a lane, you got a chance. Matthew Levy with an oceanic record will have an outside lane in the final. That is a high quality field. Genuine chance of a medal in every single lane, which doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it can really create a special final.
Especially on a 400, because tactics come into play. We talked about it in the individual medley earlier in the session, but it's the same for a distance event.
Yeah, cannot wait for that one. You'll join us later on this evening. Session kicks off at 6 o'clock. We're in for another cracker, I would wager. Here we go then, start this for the women's F7 Heat 1. 400 free. Julia Gaffney lines up quickest in this one in lane 4 for the USA. She picked up a silver yesterday in the fly. Behind Mallory Wegerman, her teammate. Huge, beaming smile from Julia Gaffney was what accompanied her entrance to the podium in silver. She's really enjoying these championships so far. A similarly effective event for the American. Agnes Kramer, Shen Shuling, Nora Meister, and Errol Halevi are also in the field for this one.
There is the Chen Shuling, China in lane 3, the only athlete starting in the water. A variety of different impairments and techniques being employed in this 400. All athletes focusing on this far. Agnes Kramer of Sweden in lane 2 have two good, strong, powerful lines, and their impairment is incredible. Like Kramer, a cerebral palsy athlete who's got weakness down her right side. It does sometimes make these 400 meters a bit of a further event, a bit more of a testing event, because you can't get into the same rhythm that we did see in the men's equivalent. Mark Myler not being overly affected by that, and it is down to how much you can limit the lull in your stroke from your weaker side. It's a great underwater shot there again, seeing that length of stroke from these athletes. Julia Gaffney with that nice high. However, Nora Meister, who had a brilliant European Championship. She won this event for Switzerland. They were another nation that in Dublin at the European Championship didn't have a big team, but had a very successful team, picked up a number of medals, and Nora Meister led that charge very well from the female side of her squad. She returns there. Julia Gaffney making up a bit of ground off the wall. Not too much in here, they'll keep each other company. Similarly to the first heat of men, it's nice, but then sometimes you get sucked into swimming someone else's race plan.
Yeah, now right up alongside Nora Meister of Switzerland. Shen Shuling, China, tucked in Luna Schmack. Looks like it's going to be a battle between these leading two as the feeling coming towards the wall here.
Julia Gaffney had her first taste of international podium success at major championships in Mexico. She tried in the S8 country with the best mentor she could wish for in Jessica Long. But now she's swimming in this S7 category, and again, it's not doing too badly for an American mentor, because we've seen Mackenzie Combo in the next heat. She's the current Paralympic and world champion in the
really successful night last night. It was even bookended really at the end of the night, but hearing the Star Spangled Banner quite a few times by the time the evening had finished. And Julia Gaffney did that without even winning. He got there with compatriot Reglan.
Yeah, I was leaving the pool last night and I saw Michael Brown Jr., who was a Paralympic champion for the Americans way back in here we go again, but at least he's got the senses up here with us. So he's working with the team on the coaching staff, and he said exactly that. They've got a great mix now of youth and experience, and the American team's gelled really well. And things are looking exciting for them going into Tokyo. Nora Meister here, still just though ahead of the young American.
They've got a great series of mentors, haven't they? The likes of Jessica Long and Rebecca Myers. Been there for so long. Despite the fact they're still relatively young, they've got huge depth of experience there. But they've still got that relativity to Julia Gaffney, because the difference in age isn't actually that ginormous.
No, and another thing the Americans do really well is they integrate former athletes into their coaching staff or into their mentoring program. And I think it's really useful to have living examples and experiences that can be shared to better performance. Because ultimately, the world's constantly evolving, constantly developing, and time is important. So if you can save yourself the time of exploration and trial and error, and there's someone who's been there before and done it, that can share their experiences and save you that hassle almost, and those efforts, then you can focus on doing the right things correctly. So this is where we see these incredible performances.
Nora Meister is not giving up this lead without a scrap. She led right from the 100-metre mark when she overtook Julia Gaffney's start. And then, ever since, Julia Gaffney's been playing catch-up on the Swiss. Quickly the finish being these two racing head-to-head as they come back towards home. Meister has the advantage. Gaffney is finishing very strongly here. She has got that speed. We saw her pick up the silver in the 50 fly last night. A bit of a difference from the 50 fly to the 400 free. This is going to go down to the wire. These two are swimming it like it is the final, it seems. Wouldn't be out of place if we saw this later on this evening. It's Gaffney who picked Meister. She led at the 50, she leads at the 400. Meister's lead all the way through the middle 300 metres. In the end, a touch irrelevant. The two of them finished well in front of third place, which is Chen Shuling, who swims an Asian record in 5:31. 10 seconds behind the American and the Swiss. So, very, very quick time for Chen Shuling. Still one athlete to come in. Agnes Kramer in lane 2. But a good race that from Gaffney and Meister, who almost used each other to further themselves along.
Yeah, I think sometimes you need that. Like I said, sometimes for some athletes it works to their advantage, and others it completely blows their whole race plan out of the water. But even though these athletes are so young, they're already experienced. They've both got major championships in the bag, and every learning experience makes you that stronger, more confident athlete to do exactly that and going with a race plan.
Agnes Kramer comes in to complete the race. Stars and Stripes are flying in London. There's confirmation of those times and that Asian record for Chen Shuling. Julia Gaffney wins it, Nora Meister second, and Chen with a great time, 5:31, a brand new standard for Asia. Let's start this for Heat 2. Mackenzie Cohn is joined by her teammate, Mahalia Lettenberger. Sabrina Duchesne, the other North American. Brings her in late 3. Canada. Mackenzie Cohn, who made the final of the 50 fly. This is far more her sort of pace. Nicola Sinclair Maitland of Sweden, who's their supporters in the crowd.
Coming into this meet, would be expecting Mackenzie Cohn to be the front runner, but as we've learned so many times, when you've got a world leader in your squad like that, it does really raise the game of the newcomers, of the rookies, and so Alan Rattenberger will be going with her for as long as she can, knowing that familiar stroke of Mackenzie Cohn. As they come into this first 50 metres, I say 400 metres is a long way to go. We don't want to go too hard too early, but it's Bouchen of Canada and Annie Palin, the bronze medalist from Glasgow World Championships in 2015, that are the closest to Mackenzie Cohn at this stage.
The world record standard for this race is a phenomenal one, 4:59.02, under 5 minutes, set by Jacqueline Franey in this pool in 2012 at the Paralympic Games. Mackenzie Cohn, at least on paper, the only one who would think of that as a possibility. But as we see at World Championships so many times, breakout swims happen. Yesterday for China, out of nowhere, smashing the world record in one of the most competitive fields you could wish to see. That's it. Some performances happen at World Championships, especially the year before Paralympic Games.
Yeah, we've talked about the importance of this World Championship for so many of the nations, and it's a really good opportunity to swim in a brilliantly designed pool, a very fast pool, with a great competition, because we are inside that qualification window, as you mentioned now, so athletes, depending on their own countries, qualification processes and procedures and selection processes, then actually there are athletes here that could close time that get them on that team for Tokyo.
Just takes that weight off your mind as well, if you can get your qualification time in the bag a full year out. Avoid that sort of trials nature of it 6 months away when you're not quite sure if you'll hit the time.
Yeah, the flip side as well is it gives you a great marker of how your training's going, how the last few years have gone, where your competition is, because people come in different form to here and maybe have slightly different preparations. Ultimately, no one ever gets on a World Championship block and doesn't give 100%. So if you can go away from this and look at where you are in terms of the rest of the world and where you need to be next year, so you can tweak that training plan if you need to, or carry on the original plan. There's still enough time out to make changes if they're necessary, but also if things are going well, you're going to continue along the path.
Yeah, we are just 350 days away from the swimming getting underway in Tokyo at the Paralympics. Doesn't sound very far off, does it?
No, it's not, and I know that come New Year's Eve to New Year's Day, it's always for an athlete, it's like, well, we've been home for this year. And there's something about it, it just, the 3 years in between games to that games year again seem to go so quickly.
To get quicker every time. I know you said.
Yeah, I think it does. And I think when you go to your first game, that's the second one, you just get more and more excited. We often see the Americans as well. They really ramp it up in that final year into the games. A lot of them go and centralize their training in Colorado Springs with their Olympic training center, because if you're from a huge country geographically, you don't get that opportunity to get together with your teammates so often. So it's really nice sometimes to just go into a hub where everybody's training together.
Yeah, it helps create that spirit ahead of the games, doesn't it? I know the smaller nations, for example Great Britain, often have that great spirit because they see each other a lot more often, because much smaller country, but take a huge nation like China or Russia or the USA, it can be hard to foster that team spirit when you've got to travel halfway across the world to see your teammates.
And also it makes competitions difficult as well, because some of these athletes from these huge countries, they travel further to a national competition, and maybe the Great Britain athletes will travel to Berlin.
Yeah, so true. Mackenzie Cohen is making this race alone. She is very used to swimming out on her own in the 400 freestyle. She's been so good at this event for so many years now. Look at the time going to be. She's looking really strong. It's not going to be far off the time she set this year. 5:09.43 is a good place to start for Mackenzie Cohen of the USA. Coming in alongside her will be Ayhala Lettenberger, her teammate. Mackenzie Cohen seems pretty happy with that.
She looks comfortable as well.
Yeah, terrifyingly so.
Well, we talk about challenges, these big world records that have stood there, and we saw last night Antonio Fantini take 14 seconds off of his heat time for the final, the world record, and this has stood to Jacqueline Freni from London 2012 Paralympics. It is 10 seconds quicker than that time on your screen at the moment, so who knows, wouldn't that be a dream?
Drop below 5 minutes to do the world record in one night would be an unbelievable swim from Mackenzie Cohen, but she's the type of swimmer who it wouldn't be a surprise to see her do that. It would be a monumental achievement though. There you go, this water's capable of providing a sub-5 swim for the S7s over this distance. It's done it before. And with someone like Mackenzie, we wouldn't rule it out happening again. Fantastic heat swim from the American. Happy with her morning's work.
Good, she's got a personalised support banner too. A lot of artwork's gone into that.
Well, there we go, that's the results of Heat 2 confirmed. Mackenzie Cohen takes it in front of Ayhala Lettenberger. Preparation taking place on full side. Backstroke ledges being put in by our officials, means the return of the backstroke, this time for the men's S13 class, 100 metre backstroke. One heat of this one. We just lose a couple of swimmers. The Harbocky, the familiar presence in lane 4. World record holder in this one, 56.68, set back in Rio at that Paralympics. He's got 57 dead this year. He's got on his ankle as part of his familiarly busy World Championship schedule. Already the champion over 400 freestyle. He's the Paralympic gold in this event in 2012 and 2016. The Belarusian phenom is in lane 4.
See that under that long figure of Harbocky, who, if you look at previous major championship victories, they all have his name splashed upon them. But we've seen some challengers give him a run for his money. He's got to always come into these heats and these competitions thinking that you're going to be the one that wins. On Monday there will be someone that gets that victory. We see the tap and stick being utilised by one athlete as they turn. Really difficult for these visually impaired athletes to see these flags. They're not that bright anyway, and the light really does just take them out of their vision. So it is necessary, but here we see Harbocky. He is leading this field. Nicholas Guy going well for Canada in lane 5.
such an effortless stroke of Boki, and he's looking in pretty fine. Back at 58.63 is very smooth. Nicola Turbide picks up second place. Yeah, a pretty decent looking time as well. 60.45. He is capable of a touch quicker. He's gone below the 60-second barrier this year already. Looks like he'll be Irishman. Spaniard who miss out on the final. Boki dusting off some of the cobwebs that may have lingered after the 400 freestyle. Back in the water, looking smooth for the 100 backstroke.
Again, they only had to lose 2 athletes to get through to the final, so nobody really showing their cards at this stage.
Nicola Turbide finishes in second place, Bachenko in third. Alex Portal and Kirilo Garaschenko are there or thereabouts to qualify through. That's the turn of the women. 2 heats for the ladies. 2 Uzbeki swimmers in the middle lanes for this one. Nigarikon, Mirja Kudova, and Shopshankon Toshpalatova in those middle lanes. Fantastic swimmers, commentator's nightmare. Katy Dedekind and Colleen Young flank them, with Irina Matlo of Ukraine on the outside.
Well, great start there in lane from the Skakova. That was quick, you say it quickly, right? and there's again, as Uzbekistan as an example of a country, again, who's just had 1 swimmer, and they went from 1 swimmer to 3, 4 quite quickly, and they occupy similar classification groups, but that's because, again, role models make you see what is available to you.
Yeah, it's so true. And remember Toshpalatova having that wonderful championships at the Euros in French out a few years ago. And she's in lane 5 here. She's got a teammate alongside it. Mirja Kudova is looking really strong here. The 2 of them are pretty level pegging, actually. Mirja Kudova does have the advantage. And he's stretching that out in these final 15 metres as well. And cruise home here. A pretty solid looking time as well. 68.25 for Mirja Kudova. Toshpalatova, best part of a second back in the end, and Dedekind of Australia will finish up in 3rd place.
Comfortable swim there for Mirja Kudova. She's got about 2 seconds swimmer entry time. Play around with again. If you're in those middle lanes, you've got a bit of comfort, but you can't take anything for granted, especially when you're visually impaired, because you do not have the range of vision to look to those outside lanes to see anybody sneaking up with a surprise performance.
And some really good swimmers coming up in Heat 2 as well, so that lane draw can be quite useful, especially in the backstroke sprint events. We've got to confirm results. Mirja Kudova wins it for Uzbekistan. Shopshankon Toshpalatova, her teammate, in 2nd. Katy Dedekind of Australia in 3rd. On the start list for Heat 2. Carlotta Gilli of Italy leads the way in this one. Quickest time in the world this year. 65.76. Gia Pergolini of the USA will look to follow where her teammates left off a few moments ago.
There are some loaded sensor lanes in this second heat. that time Carlotta is a world record that she set in Dublin last year, and you see Anastasenko, who was a silver medalist on that occasion, Ukraine out in lane 6, who finished incredibly quickly down the last 50 of the 400-meter freestyle last night. She is the Paralympic Games champion, though Carlotta Julie is definitely the newcomer on the block. World Championship gold medal in Mexico 2 years ago, and then Gia Pagoloni, who turned first for America, she's actually the silver medalist from Mexico. So there has been somewhat of a resurgence, a changing of the guard, but with the way the form we saw Anastasenko in last night, we could not rule her out.
As they come towards the final 15 meters here, and it looks like the American Gia Pagolini has got a pretty unassailable lead here. Carlotta Gilli is finishing strongly though, and will push her hard here to the wall. What sort of time is it? It's a quick one, 107.63 from Pagolini. Carlotta Gilli in second place. And third going to the Russian, Daria Kukalova. Anastasenko, a little bit further back, 113.82. Really too much in contention there, the Ukrainian. But Pagolini there, you see the reaction time. Such a good start, and that was pretty much how the race ended up finishing.
Yeah, great swimming there from the American. Like I said, good result for her at World Championships. When you get that confidence, you build momentum through a Paralympic cycle, and you become more familiar with the people that you're racing, know their tactics, know what works for you, and it just gives you the confidence to attack every race that you're in.
Here come the results then. Confirmation of that win and the time for Gia Pagolini of the USA. Carlotta Gilli picks up second. Daria Pikolova in third. Bit of a gap then until Anastasenko, who just about scratches into that final. She'll have one of the outside lanes in that one. Gia Pagolini and Carlotta Gilli quickest through in that one. In front of Nova. As we welcome the S11s to the pool. Men's visually impaired categories. Doing some airing this morning. Men's 100-meter backstroke S11 heats. 2 heats to come of this one. Reminder, in case you aren't familiar, you just about make it out on some of the goggles. These are totally blacked out. These swimmers are totally blind. We'll utilise the assistance of tappers at both ends of the pool to help them time their finishes. We'll use the lane ropes to good effect as well.
There we see in lane 4 that no swimming cap, big strong Viktor Smirnov of the Ukraine, another athlete who has been to a number of Paralympic Games, who's also in Athens in 2004, been very successful in this S11 category over the last decade and a half. What always makes these S11 races so exciting is obviously they can't see who they're competing against, so you really see the limit of swimming. You see the range of tapping sticks there, range of turning techniques used, and it really is a time trial every time you swim. And then we can see a great shot of Viktor Smirnov finding that lane rope, going against the lane rope with Marco Menzies of Portugal. And if you get both on the same lane rope, there's always that risk of getting either your hands tangled or just stealing the water or having the water stolen from you, which then slows you down.
Yeah, a couple of swimmers almost swimming on top of each other in the middle as they come towards the finish. Going to be a close one. Going to be a really close one. There comes the tap. There goes the touch. Smirnov holds on in front of Zhang. Viktor Smirnov of Ukraine gets the win in heats number 1. 1:11.64 the time, just in front of Zhang Bowen. It's Jeremy McClure of Australia who picked up third.
Well, we talk about that man and his great dominance and his longevity. Jeremy McClure was also in Athens for Australia, but then competing as an S12 swimmer. We see it quite often in these visually impaired classification groups. A lot of people have a vision that can deteriorate over time, so we see them move down through the classes over time. That's exactly what happened to Jeremy McClure.
Yeah, every VI swimmer has a different story. Sometimes the blindness can occur through accident, through adult life sometimes. Sometimes it's something that they've been born with. It really does impact the way a swimmer approaches the races in their training. A good swim there. The results still aren't confirmed yet because there will be a goggle check of each and every swimmer's goggles to make sure they were totally blacked out. And that's just to ensure no light perception can be enabled for the S11 swimmer. Jeremy McClure, by the way, you mentioned he swam in Athens. He's just set an oceanic record 15 years later.
Him and Matt Levy doing it for the experienced Australians. We've got 9
you
rookies
nearly said
to
older
impress.
there.
No, I didn't. They're younger than me.
But yeah, you mentioned the 9 rookies on the Australian team, and they've still got the senior hands providing the records. Good race coming up here in the S11s with heat number 2. Roger Dorsman of the Netherlands has got his supporters in this morning, clad all in orange and with his own personal banner as well at the top of the pool which says "Go, go, Roger." He's completing his final preparations. Mark Gunnarsson of Iceland and Wojciech Rakowski will accompany me in the centre lanes. Grigory Zudzulav of Belarus in lane 6 is a very good competitor in the S11 category as well. Matthew Chabraya as well, one to watch from Canada. Looking forward to this race. Expecting quite a close one. Totally agree with what you said in the last race. What makes S11 racing so exciting is there's just so many variables.
Yeah, we've seen it go wrong before we've seen race restarts. They've held it for a long time there, but we feel that high position there of Roger Dorsman, and he's up and he's found the lane route very well, and now the challenge is to stick to it, because sometimes he'll be sensing there that Mark Gunnarsson of Iceland is next to him in lane 3, and sometimes you feel like you should move to the other lane route, but obviously no vision at all. You can get quite disorientated if you don't get there quite quickly, and often for these S11 athletes it might be a 100-metre race, but they can quite often swim 102 metres.
Well, it's out the frying pan into the fire for Roger Dorsman. He did try and move over to the other lane rope, and then Wojciech Rakowski was swimming in that one as well. So really caught between a rock and a hard place there, Roger Dorsman. Himself and Rakowski have split apart, so now occupy a little bit of space for Dorsman, and he can look to utilise that. So too in lane 3 can Mark Gunnarsson as they come towards home. The tappers stand ready. It will be either Dorsman or Gunnarsson as they come towards the wall. This is really close. Oh, 100th of a second, wasn't it just? It's Gunnarsson who just pips Dorsman. Rakowski picking up third. We talked about the variables. Well, that race went so many different ways, but in the end it's the Icelander who tops the pile, 111.4.
Yeah, and obviously we don't often see that initial celebration or relief even from these S11 swimmers, because they have to wait to either hear the in-venue announcements or when they've gotten to the side and had their goggles checked for their assistant to tell them what the result has been. S11 swimming is so impressive because they have to learn techniques from description. And you definitely see differences in those athletes who have lost their vision and were once sighted, and those athletes who were born completely with no vision from the start, because they're relying on different senses. They're relying on picture books in their head, and it comes so close. And again, preference. They have to rely on feedback from everybody else, including with those kappa sticks.
And talk about close. I mean, you look at it in the slow motion replays, 100th of a second there, absolutely nothing between them. Fingernail at most.
No, and it's racing against the time trial at its best, because it's the one place as well, the S11s for me, where the heats only matter to get you in the final. They don't really give you an indication of what's going to happen in the final, because there are just so many variables.
Yeah, it's the class that always stands out to me personally, the S11s. Truly remarkable athletes. And here we go with the women's 100 free, 100 back I should say, for the S11s. Katerina Tkachuk of the Ukraine in lane 4, Kylie Wen and Sofia Polikarpova flank her in the central lanes. We've also got Tatiana Vlatanova of Slovakia in lane 2, Zhang Xiaotong of China in 6, and Kanchan Malapande of India in lane 7.
High off the block there for Katerina Tkachuk of the Ukraine in that centre lane. She went up, she came down, and then she had to find the momentum. That best start coming from that bright green suit of Kylie Wen of China in lane 5. She is a Paralympic Games silver medalist. She's the world champion from Mexico at the World Championships in 2017. So she's got good form. And they've gone for completely opposite sides of the lane ropes. But they're coming in together now, we'll see. Ukrainian getting tapped first, the Chinese athlete getting tapped. Oh, the Chinese athlete there, perfect underwater shot, just what can go wrong, and unfortunately there, she got caught on that lane rope as she popped up. And the surprise then, and your skills to react to that and get back in the zone and plough on with the race, that often is what defines these S11 athletes and determines the result ultimately.
Looking very, very strong here. Just switching lane ropes. In lane 4 is Katerina Tkachuk. And here will come the tap. Gets a stabbing tap in the torso. Tkachuk touches in, 121.06. Here's a nice time to win it. Zhang finishing in second place from lane 6. There is your winner, Katerina Tkachuk of the Ukraine. She gives a little wave as well. I think she knows the result. You can see there the arm dipping under the lane rope, really utilising every bit of the pull to offer a guide.
Yeah, a lot of the time the S11s employ a tactic of brushing their lats against the lane rope, so then their arms do go under because they need to get that lats, because it's the one part of the body that least impedes the stroke.
Those are the results. Tkachuk does win it, 121.06, couple of seconds and change in front of Kylie Wen of China. Zhang Xiaotong picks up third. Here comes heat number 2 then. Wang Xinji of China leads this one out in lane 4. Marina Podubna has already picked up a gold medal in this championship. She goes in lane 5 with Matilda Estefania Alcazar of Mexico. sharing the central lanes in lane 3. Tomomi Ishiura of Japan is in lane 2, Anastasia Shevchenko in 6, and Victoria Lukashevich of Belarus in 7.
Well, this is a heat that provides plenty of promise. Wang Xinyi of China is the world record holder here in lane 4. She set that world record in Glasgow in 2019. So this year, she's in fine form, we know that. And Podubna, a bronze medalist at the European Championships and the World Championships in 2015. And then you've got the bronze medalist from Mexico that goes in lane 3. It's Alcazar Figueroa. So there's plenty of opportunity within this field, and we see at the moment is Podubna coming into that wall first at the turn, feet planted nicely, only 0.3 ahead of the world record holder, who actually got the better push off as we came away. We can see now Podubna heading towards that lane rope as we've discussed, that trademark hat right over her goggles, ensuring that they don't fall off, ensuring that there's no doubt that there's any chance that her blacked out goggles are not fully up to standards. But now we see that silver hat of Chinese swimmer Wang comfortably coming into the final 10 meters of this race in a commanding position.
Yeah, that underwater off the 50 was really strong from Wang Xinyi, and the finish is smooth as well for the Chinese athlete. 1:18.54 is not too far off her world record pace, set of the World Series earlier on this year. And our final individual race of the morning comes to a close, and it's won by Wang Xinyi of China. Marina Podubna picks up second, then it was Shevchenko of Russia who ended up in third. And a really fine swim from Wang Xinyi, who from the 50-meter mark never looked like giving that one up.
Strong finish there. Tapper's reliable.
High pressure job for those tappers.
I know, I wouldn't want to do it. Confirmation there that Wang did take that second heat for China, Podubna in second, and Shevchenko with Russia in third.
And I mentioned it was the final individual race of the morning. That is because we've got relays on the way.
Always an exciting time, and as these 4x50 medley relays of the 20-point category look to be coming out. It's very interesting up here because only a few of the nations entered times, so we're in for a surprise in store, and ultimately everybody is in with a chance of making this final. Similarly with the S11 events, there are so many variables in a relay. And here we get the start list for that first heat of this. We see Australia in 2, Kazakhstan in 3, Italy in 4, Turkey in 5, and the Russian Federation in lane 6.
Not only have we got different classes swimming, we've also got different genders as well with the mixed relay. So many variables in this race, it is pretty much impossible to call.
Yeah, and you can put, you're not restricted, so it's 2 male and 2 female, and your classification combination cannot exceed a total of 20 points, but you are not restricted as to which gender athlete you use on which leg of the relay. So again, a lot of athletes are countries are restricted because they only have one combination available to them. So it might be that athletes aren't on their preferred stroke. It might just be they're on the stroke that fits with the combination that's required. But then the best scenario in an ideal world would be 4 swimmers in the class 5, 2 male, 2 female.
And the team that already stands out in that sense is the team in lane 4 from Italy, the likes of Antonio Fantini, Giulia Tezzi and Angiola Trini, we've all seen so far over the first couple of days. I think I'm right in saying we've not seen Efrem Morelli yet. He's going on the second leg. So Italy front-loading with 2 males and then relying on Giulia Tezzi and Angiola Trini to bring it on home. But with Antonio Fantini, they should get a pretty good start, one would imagine.
There's Boyaki, a backstroke specialist for Turkey, so they're getting a good start as well. Obviously against Fantini, you would expect the female athlete to be slightly behind. The Russians again as well up there in lane 6. They've got a good squad with Igor Plotkanov, a great backstroker. You see that fly kick of his taking him down the pool on his preferred stroke, so that's a win for the Russians at this stage. And as they go along with Kazakhstan's Daliev, S5 swimmer as well, so Plotkanov and the Kazakhstan team perfectly balanced. It's stroke for stroke for them, as in terms of they are direct hit, male S5 against male S5. But there's Antonio Fantini, the S6 backstroker, that blue cap for Italy. He's in 3rd place at the moment, and he will hand over to breaststroke specialist Efrem Morelli, who's an SB3 swimmer. And they'll try to catch, but it is the Kazakhstan athlete. They now have SB5 swimmer, female Natalie Zivginsteva in the water. And Turkey have another SB5 athlete, Bülent Odraki. So it'll be difficult for the Italians to make progress at this stage, but we just see the class of Morelli and that breaststroke. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it's just so smooth, isn't it? It really is. So it's the Russians who lead the way. Igor Plotnikov got a fantastic start. And the Russians pretty well balanced with an SB5 Yuri Luchkin handing over to an S6 in Anastasia Fyodorova. S4 Natalia Dutkova to come. Interesting, the Australians have really sort of mixed it up. They're looking to have an S10 on this 3rd leg. Monique Murphy.
Well, we talked about how limited you are sometimes to what's available to you, and it's exactly that. We just saw Scott Patterson swim the backstroke for the Australians. He's a preferred breaststroker, but Ahmed Kelly did the breaststroke for them, and now they will look to make up some ground with Monique Murphy on this fly leg as she's set to chase. But often we see that these higher class athletes just run out of pool to catch the other teams. It is the Russians that are going very well at the moment, a strong team. We did talk about that for them, and we see them now coming down the final 50 meters. Natalia Butkova being chased, as we see, by Italy's Ariola Trini, the S4 swimmer in that blue cap for Italy, with that beautiful freestyle stroke. Here she comes as they hit the 15-meter mark. She takes the lead.
This is going to be a really entertaining finish. Have Italy timed it to perfection? It looks like they have. Fantastic work from Angiola Trini to bring it home for the Italians. 2:48.11, the winning time. Have to wait to see the Russian team.
Well, the graphic says Turkey, the team says Italy. And Morelli there and Trini both putting in brilliant legs, holding their own against higher classification competition, not necessarily on their leg, but in the entire team, playing to their strengths. There we just see that range. There's females in the water, there's different classes in the water, and you can see that from that underwater shot.
Yeah, it seems that the in-venue timing systems had a real load of fun with with this relay, but it is definitely Italy who won it. And we will have to wait and see with those results. And just peer into the timing screen. I can see some intense faces, shall we say. So we will just wait on those results. And we'll, of course, wait to see what our officials think. Relays often can provide disqualifications based on starts and turnovers and such. So as we mentioned, a lot of variables in these races. We will wait and see what our officials say at the end of it. We do have 2 heats. We have got the second heat on its way. The athletes are starting to make their way out. Greece, Germany, Ukraine, Spain, Brazil and China. And just looking down the classifications, a pretty well-balanced set of teams as well.
Yeah, we talk about those preferred combinations. I think the key, if you have the luxury, is to get a similar range in the classification. So you said like four fives is perfect. But basically, it's not always about how much time you can make up, as we saw there with Monet Murphy. It's about how much time you can limit losing on each leg, especially in this lower category relay.
Well, I must say, I quite like the Italians' tactics of having the S7 swim on the breaststroke. Seems to make a big difference for them. Not the breaststroke, rather the third leg, I should say.
Butterfly.
That's the one. Marjola Trimi, really, really effective on the freestyle as well. But having Giulia Terzi on the fly leg as an S7, just seems to be able to generate that extra power that they need to get themselves back into the race, having been behind Russia for the first 2.
Yeah, we'll see in this next heat an example of a team who really do have the luxury of choice is the Ukrainians. We say all the time they have such great strength and depth across all category groups, and that puts you in perfect position when it comes to relay selection, because not only can you choose the right classification combination, you find yourself in a position where you've got a stroke specialist on that stroke, and then that again minimizes the time that you lose to other nations, the opposition, but also maximizes your potential to make a difference in the water.
Well, it looks like they're still having some fun downstairs in the officials' rooms, figuring out this result. They are getting there, I think.
They also have to make sure that the system is loaded with this next set of category groups, and it is a bit wild to keep up with at times.
I like how the crowd themselves can advocate for silence, please, at the start. One of the Italians there with a personal sign. The Irish are in supporting as well, having a lovely old time.
Greeks on a telly. Give them a wave for a kiss.
These results that are coming to us now are unofficial, just to confirm, but they look about right to us, I think, Liz.
Yeah,
Italy,
barring any disqualification dramas.
Yeah, Italy did just pit Russia in the end, Turkey ending up in 3rd. And a reminder of the start list ahead of heat number 2. Greece, Germany, Ukraine, Spain, Brazil and China. The Ukrainians are the reigning European champions, and they set the world record in this event in Dublin last year with 2:39.29. Let's see what they've got in store for us with our final race of the morning.
Again, we see them getting away well. It was named from 4th. It's Yaroslav Simonenko of the Ukraine up that white hat into the stroke. Brazil out there at the top with great Daniel Diaz. In lane 6, he'll lead the charge for the Brazilians and set up the team nicely, hopefully, for them to hand over to Roberto Rodriguez, who will swim a breaststroke leg for them. But this is all about, we did say, the Ukrainians with that strong strength and depth, the opportunity to make good choices for this relay. And there, the handover to Mereshko, Yelizaveta Mereshko, breaststroke world champion last night in the 100 meters, 50-meter sprint for her here this morning. Looking strong, you'd want her on your team, wouldn't you?
Well, to be able to have that calibre of athlete in the first two to go. We talked about Semenenko's start as an S5. Because he gets that leverage off the blocks, 50 metres is the absolutely perfect length for him. He's managed to hand over to Mereshko in a good position. Brazil are not too far away. Roberto Rodriguez in lane number 6 is catching Yelizaveta Mereshko.
He'll look to get her before they touch because he needs to give the best opportunity, because the Ukrainians have the strongest swimmer on going into the butterfly leg. It is Oksana Krul, the S6 butterfly specialist. She'll go up against Estefani Rodriguez, an S5 swimmer. And then we saw for the German team, Irena Schott putting in a solid breaststroke leg as she hands over to Hosea Toff, who's an S3 on this butterfly leg.
Well, this is where Ukraine have stepped away. Oksana Krul, the S6 fly swimmer, has flown away. She even has room to manoeuvre to give plenty of space for Andrzej Darowinski, the S4 freestyler, who will bring Ukraine home. And they're on for a decent time here, Ukraine. They'll look to hold the lead. They have got competition behind them, particularly in lane number 7 from China now.
There we saw there Yingyang Wang put in a great fly leg for China. Swimmer on form at this meet, overhauling the Brazilians. And for them on that final leg is Keeling Tings, an S7 swimmer. She's going to run out of room to catch Darowinski for the Ukrainians.
Yeah, Darowinski finishes. We've got no idea of the time. The timing system inside the venue having some wonderful fun here. Got an unconfirmed time for you of 2:42.49, which is 3 seconds or so off world record pace. That's the unconfirmed time for Ukraine. Always a worry when you lose the clock in there and you know the team's gone quick, that you might have skipped over a potentially world record breaking time, but that's a good heat swim for Ukraine. They can be very pleased with that.
Yeah, they had a strong team there. We've talked about this strength and depth for their squad that they have built over a number of years. And obviously a lot of these teams will look to make switches tonight for the final, maybe bring in a different combination. Rest of some of this moment. We talk about having the luxury of choice. And actually the Brazilians, we saw Daniel Diaz go on the first leg, the backstroke for him. But there was a time in a Paralympic program where he was the swimmer in the 20-point relay and the 34-point relay, because they were very limited in the 34-point relay. They only had that option. So he would get out of one race, walk back down the other end, get in and start all over again. No such trouble though for the Ukrainians.
No, they've got a really deep squad and, as I say, plenty of options. And when you can have the likes of Yaroslav Semenenko, Yelizaveta Mereshko, Oksana Krul to lead you out, it becomes quite simple a lot of the time for Andrzej Darowinski. He just has to keep what he has, which is the lead. So the finalists for tonight: Ukraine, China, Italy, Russia, Brazil, Spain, Kazakhstan and Australia. That is the final for tonight's mixed 4x50 medley 20-point relay. Well, that will do us from today's morning session on day number 2 of the World Paraswimming Allianz Championships. We've seen some fantastic action this morning. Plenty more to come this evening. So many races are set up quite beautifully for night number 2. of these World Paraswimming Championships here in London.
The school children came in their droves. Started that backstroke. Seems like such a long time ago. This morning's events though, Steve, I feel like they've set up such promise for some really close encounters tonight. There wasn't so many ground-stoppingly fast swims, but there's so much promise of tight races though. There, the Frenchman, he did surprise that field in the S800 freestyle.
Yeah, so many good races potentially tonight. You take a look, for example, at the men's 100 back S9s. Like I said, Moscovoy, Hugo Didier, Simone Barlam, Timothy Hodge, all in contention. 100 back S14 will be close in both the men and the women's race. Bethany Firth was magnificent this morning, but won't have it all her own way. 100 back S13s also could give us a fantastic race in both the men, but especially the women. Mackenzie Cohen was in fantastic form in the women's 400 free S7s. And we ended with some fantastic relays. It's all set up for a phenomenal night number 2. Join us at 6 o'clock.